So I reached out to another friend of mine. I said, look, I need to go on vacation somewhere. Where should I go? He said, go to Africa. And not only am I going to go, I'm going to explore a new country. So I went to Tanzania, South Africa, Namibia, Mali, Senegal, Morocco, Liberia, Namibia, Kenya, the Voodoo Festival in Ouida, Gambia, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire. Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria. It's been a beautiful experience, just learning more about our culture, our indigenous culture. So Uhuru means freedom in Swahili. I'm in search of my roots. In finding that, I would experience my Uhuru, which is freedom. Till next time, Dynast Amir, I'm out.
Peace, family. Peace. I hope all is well. I hope your Sunday. Yeah, today's Sunday. Today's Sunday, right? Today's Sunday. That's right. Today is Sunday. Hope your Sunday is going well. Here we go. Real disappointment is people. We're gonna address the solutions. We're going to address the solutions, James Yahuda. And hold on, let's go ahead and get into it right now. Let's go ahead and get into it right now, real quick. Listen, James. I think the what are the solutions argument is disingenuous. And the reason why I say it's disingenuous is because you have MLK Jr., you got Marcus Garvey, Amos Wilson, John Henry Clark. You have all of our leaders who have came before us, who have given the solutions, and you guys don't want to listen. You had Ice Cube, who gave a solution. Hey, how about we leverage our vote and see what we could get in return? And you know what black folks said? You know what black folks said? Shut up, Ice Cube. So the solutions are out there. It's just black people don't want solutions as a collective. Some do, but as a collective, black folks don't want solutions. You know how many stop the violence rallies there are? How many stop the violence rallies there were? How many, hey, we gonna sit down and have a round table with elected officials and members of the community and the pastors. That shit goes on every day. Every day. The Revolt Summit with Puff Daddy and, let's sit down and we're going to talk and, yell and scream and hand clap. That goes on every day. So you guys got the solutions. Yeah, rallies and roundtables every day. Yeah, we're going to sit down with, and name drop, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, and Andre Dickens, whoever, Kamala Harris and all the leaders of the community and this entertainer and that entertainer. We're all going to sit down and just talk and talk and talk. The solutions are there. It's just the problem is our people as a collective aren't serious about applying the solutions. We want to live in a constant state of victimhood. But the easiest solution, and reality says it in the chat room, the easiest solution, how about stops? If something is not yours, how about not take it? Again, if you see something that's not yours, don't take it. That black man right there, he's not the enemy. Don't shoot him. That car over there, don't break into it. That's the solution. It's really that simple. But people like yourself want to overcomplicate it and want a damn rallying conference, get together, a bunch of intellectual masturbation, with a bunch of entertainers and rappers and community activists and this activist and that politician and name drop Stop the Violence Fest 2022 Part 50. That's what you want. But it's really simple. That right there, that house, is that your house? Okay, don't break into it. Don't steal nothing out the house. You're in the grocery store. If you didn't pay for it, don't take it out the store. That black man right there, he's not your enemy. Don't kill him. Don't shoot him. We want to overcomplicate everything. That's why I'm so tired of the solutions argument. What are the solutions? What are the solutions? It's really that simple. Marie, that's my sister. If Marie leaves a $50 bill at my house or in my car or anywhere, I'm a pick it up and I'm a call her and say, "Hey Marie, you left $50. I'm gonna return it to you." Marie has on a gold chain. I'm not gonna snatch it. I'm not gonna rob her for it. I'm not gonna snatch her purse. We want to overcomplicate everything. What are the solutions? Are you serious? Are we still on this what are the solutions argument? Are we still on this what are the solutions argument? What are the solutions? How about view another black man and black woman as your brother and sister? That's the easiest solution right there. That's the easiest solution. And listen, I didn't charge you for it. You ain't got to pay $10.99 to come. Well, you got to pay for my documentary. But listen, you ain't got to pay $20 for my conference, my solutions conference. You ain't got to pay $50 for my what are the solutions conference. Well, all we're going to do is argue. I just gave you solutions. In less than 2 minutes, I gave you all of this, the majority of the solutions. I just gave you the majority of the solutions in 2 minutes. Just gave it to you. Easy. If you see an item that's not yours, don't steal it. If you don't pay it, if you didn't pay for it, it's simple. If you get in an argument with somebody over too much mayonnaise on a sandwich, just walk away. It's a $3 sandwich. Just walk away. What I'm gonna argue a fight with somebody over a sandwich? What are the solutions? Boy, here we go. Anyways, guys, everyone, thanks so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you go to amirdynast.com. Make sure you go to amirdynast.com. Listen, we're going to have an awesome time in Nigeria. We're going to have an awesome time in Nigeria. Awesome time. I was reading the comment, guys. Sorry. We're going to have an awesome time in Nigeria. We leave tomorrow. We leave tomorrow for Nigeria. We're going to have an awesome time, great time. We're going to the Oshun Festival. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. We're going to have a great time. So, guys, hit the like button, share. Also, please, please, if you have not, I'm just reading the comment, guys. The comments. Yeah, what are the solutions? That's the most disingenuous question. I can't stand that question. What are the solutions? Stop stealing and stop killing. That's the solution. Stop robbing, stop killing, and stop stealing. That's the solution. Easy. Easy peasy, as they say. Yeah, man, we'll leave tomorrow for Nigeria, y'all. We leave tomorrow for Nigeria. But listen, in the meantime, guys, if you're not joining us in Nigeria, or even if you are joining in Nigeria, make sure you go to searchforuhuru.com. Make sure you go to searchforuhuru.com and buy the documentary. It is now streaming at searchforuhuru.com. Again, it is now streaming at searchforuhuru.com. Hold on. In Brooklyn, New York, McDonald's worker was killed because French fries was too cold. Man, what are the solutions? What are the solutions, man? What are the solutions? What are the solutions, man? The solutions, man. You ain't got no solutions, Dynast. So, guys, listen. If you're watching this, I need you to be on code, okay? I need y'all to be on code. And make sure you go and purchase the documentary, family. Again, if you are watching this, okay, and if you have not bought the documentary, again, if you are watching this and you have not bought the documentary, please go and buy the documentary. Please go and buy the documentary. Go to searchforuhuru.com and buy the documentary. Go to searchforuhuru.com and buy the documentary. My story is very unique. No one has a story like mine, especially when it comes to engagement with Africa as an African in America. Again, no one has a story like mine. So please go and buy the documentary. Please go and buy the documentary. Once again, no one has a story like mine. And I think you, in fact, I know you'll be very happy and pleased with the documentary. It's something you can watch with your family, buy a copy if you're an educator, play it in the classroom. If you're an instructor in college, play for your students. Again, go. No, Omar. So how it works when you purchase the documentary, you set up a login. You create a login. So once you purchase it, all you got to do is log in and you're able to view it. So that's how it works. Once you purchase it, you're able to view it and just log into the site, and it's yours for life. So wherever you, whatever device, wherever you're at, all you got to do is just go to the site, log in right here, and you could view the documentary. So one more time, there's almost 200 people watching right now. If you are part of the 200 that has not purchased the documentary, listen, please go and buy the documentary. Again, please go and buy the documentary if you have not bought the documentary. I want everybody to support and buy this documentary, you guys. So thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Also, we are rolling to Nigeria tomorrow, but we are also rolling to Sierra Leone. Again, we are rolling to Sierra Leone in November. And citizenship is available to those who qualify via African ancestry. Citizenship is available to those. Oh, wrong one. Citizenship is available to those who qualify. So please visit Danfo, DANFO .Africa. Again, please visit Danfo, DANFO .Africa. And if you are interested in gaining your citizenship in Sierra Leone, I'm taking a group in November, and we'll love to have you. It'll be an honor to guide you on this citizenship journey in Sierra Leone. Again, WN, were you able to view it? WM, were you able to view it? I know you said you were having some issues viewing it on one of your device on your Obama phone. Yes, WM. You can't, guys. Listen, if you have an Obama phone, I don't think you'll be able to watch a documentary on your Obama phone, but on all your other phones you can, and your tablets, desktop, smart televisions, everything. Oh, shout out to WM. He said yes. He said yes. Thank you. So again, go by the documentary, search for Huru.com. Also, if you're interested in joining us in Africa, in Sierra Leone in November for the citizenship ceremony, oops, wrong one. There we go, Danfo Africa. Please go to Danfo, DANFO .Africa. Again, please go to Danfo, DANFO .Africa, and we will love to guide you on your Sierra Leonean citizenship journey. Do you take Pookies with you to Africa? I don't associate with Pookies, so the answer is no. Yeah, okay. So WM, you must have upgraded your phone because you had an Obama phone, WM. You had an Obama phone. And yes, the documentary does not play on Obama phones. I'm sorry. You got to get your real phone. So, guys, I want to give you a little background on Atlanta and what's going on in Atlanta. Elvis, I know you bought a documentary. Elvis, you bought a documentary? I shot a Liberian in the documentary, Elvis. Elvis, I hope you bought the documentary, Elvis. If not, Elvis, you need to go buy the documentary. You need to go buy the documentary. But so, guys, this is what's going on in Atlanta. I've lived in Atlanta on and off since 2000. Not yet, but I will. Buy the documentary. Elvis, stop stalling. See, Elvis, stop stalling. Buy the documentary. I lived in Atlanta. I have lived in Atlanta on and off since 2000. And what's going on in Atlanta, okay? What you guys have to understand, Atlanta is no longer it's search for Huru.com, Elvis. I'm putting in the chat room. Search for Huru.com. Click buy now, and it'll guide you through it. Atlanta used to be the place where you could come here, rent was dirt, reinvent yourself, rent was dirt cheap. I remember back in the day, man, you could get you a nice apartment in Atlanta for about $650 a month. All right, that was back in like 06. That was back in about 06. So I had a townhouse. In Smyrna in 06. I moved to Atlanta 06 from Athens once I graduated from the University of Georgia. And I had a townhouse in Smyrna off of South Cobb Parkway or South Cobb Drive. It was, I want to say it was three, it might have been 3 bedrooms. For sure it was 2. It was 2 bedrooms, 2.5 bath. Yeah, it was 2 bedrooms, 2.5 bath. And I was paying like $600 a month. It might have been 3 bedrooms. I don't remember. Right. I then had a loft, like a studio apartment loft. had the spiral staircase, fly ass loft, downtown Atlanta. I was paying $925 a month for that, but I was overdoing it because I wanted some fly stuff. You know what I mean? So I was overdoing it because I wanted something fly. I could have did something cheaper and still would have been nice, but I wanted a fly loft, had the high ceilings, spiral staircase. You know, it was dope. I had a dope loft. It was sick as hell. Then I ended up getting a roommate, and we had in the same complex. We had got a 2-bedroom loft, 2-bedroom loft. Was paying $1,600 a month, so $800 a piece, but it was huge. It was huge. It was huge. So I mean, you could come to Atlanta if you were single, no kids, no debt, not a bunch of college debt. But from my understanding, I don't have any college debt, but from my understanding, I guess you could affirm something like that. But anyways, if you didn't have any kids, you were single in Atlanta back in the day, you could live like a king. You could live like a king for like $1,800 a month. For like $1,800 a month. And Waiter Sniper, I mean, back in the day, you could get you a whole house. You could get you a whole 2,500 square foot house, 2-car garage, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath for like $1,000 a month in a place like Stone Mountain or, anywhere in the metro Atlanta area. $1,000 a month, you get you a fly house. So like I said, man, $1,800 a month, $2,000 a month. Back in the day, you could live fly. So, you had a lot of people coming to Atlanta and doing the bare minimum and still living a good life. That started to change around 2016. Rent started going up. Housing started going up. I mean, back in the day in Atlanta, you could buy a nice house. A nice, 2,500 square foot house, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, $125,000. $125,000. I mean, you could live a very good life and do the minimum. Back in the day in Atlanta, those days have changed. Again, those days have changed. All right. Rent for something decent in Atlanta, you're starting off at $1,500 a month. You're starting off at $1,500 a month. And it's not easy like it used to be to get into these apartments. Again, it's not easy like it was back in the day getting into these apartments. So rent has gone up. Cost of living in Atlanta has gone up. And people who were thinking they could come to Atlanta and do the bare minimum and live good in Atlanta are now getting a wake-up call. See, the thing is, man, even though they say Atlanta is the city of Black excellence, you got a lot of lazy folks in Atlanta. See, back in 2006, back in the day, you could be lazy in Atlanta and make it. You can't do that no more. You can't be lazy. You got to get on your grind. Again, you got to get on your grind. There's just a lot of people who are lazy, who are now in Atlanta, instead of getting on the grind, they're now resorting to other stuff. To the point where, listen, I saw this the other day. All right, so listen, you got Pookie and Ray Ray, but now you got PooKiesha. You got PooKiesha now. PooKiesha is the female version of Pookie and Ray Ray. So Pookie and Ray Ray were tearing stuff up. I mean, Pookie and Ray Ray was around back in the day, but they weren't as out of control like they are now. Yeah, you got PooKiesha now. PooKiesha is now in the game tearing stuff up here in Atlanta. Like I said, back in the day, Pookie and Ray Ray, but Pookie and Ray Ray weren't as dangerous as they are now. It was unheard of. So the amount of children who are getting killed now in Atlanta. I'm going to show you guys a story where a 2- and a 3-year-old, a 3-year-old Tyler is fighting for his life because he was shot in a drive-by here in Atlanta. That was unheard of. That was unheard of. These teenagers now are getting killed on a regular basis here in Atlanta. That was unheard of. It's happening now in Atlanta. And the thing is, black folks in Atlanta, they're so concerned and consumed with electing Stacey Abrams and kissing Joe Biden's butt and Kamala Harris's butt that they could care less. There's blood in the streets here in Atlanta, but as long as damn Stacey Abrams gets elected, these folks don't care, and they will make every excuse in the book. And like guys in the chat room, what are the solutions, man? You ain't got the solutions. What are the solutions, man? Shoot, man, I had a Stop the Violence conference, the 50th annual Stop the Violence conference, man, and I get together roundtable, man, me and Killer Mike and Keisha Lance Bobbies, man, we was at the table, man, hammer out solutions, man. What are the solutions, man? You ain't got the solutions. So these solutions, Negroes, all they want to do is run their mouths at conferences. But the situation is getting worse when the simple solution is, hey, if you see something that's not yours, don't take it. If you didn't pay for it, it's not yours, don't take it. Stop breaking into cars, okay? If that car is not yours, don't break into it. If you see another black man or black woman, they're not your enemy, don't shoot them, don't kill them. Those are solutions. But it's not sexy enough. We got to turn it into a conference. All the solutions got to be a damn conference. They want a sexy conference with a bunch of entertainers and rappers and politicians and Al Sharpton. That's what they want. So Atlanta is devolving to the point now. Let me share this with you.
New at 6 tonight, a bizarre crime wave is hitting cold stores in metro Atlanta.
The latest case in Noonan. Walk stuff not paying report what they are stealing.
Kohl's is a big store, a department store.
New at 6 tonight, a bizarre crime wave is hitting cold stores in metro Atlanta.
The latest case in Noonan is where a trio of women walked out of the department store after stuffing merchandise into big bags and not paying for it. And as Fox 5's Doug Evans reports now, you might be surprised about what they are stealing.
Kohl's is a big store, a department store. And if you think about all the items that they sell, what one item do you think a theft ring might be interested in? Well, in this case, investigators say it's underwear, men's underwear, thousands of dollars worth of men's underwear. For the fourth time in metro Atlanta, police say these three women entered a Kohl's store with the intent of stealing a large quantity of men's underwear. This was the Noonan store. Here, the women are seen on surveillance cameras crouched over a display case in the men's department. Their quarry, according to the company, is Nike men's boxers. According to Kohl's website and the police report, a box of 3 normally sells for about $40. The women are accused of filling their big bags with $1,800 in Nike men's briefs and skipping the cash register on the way out.
These girls are walking in the store, filling up reusable shopping bags, and walking out. Not a care in the world.
These 3 and possibly others are also accused of hitting Kohl's stores in Marietta, Woodstock, and McDonough. Their total take so far is over $6,000 in high-end men's boxers. Apparently not always Nike. In this investigation called the Coweta County Sheriff's Office.
So we now have, listen, we now have PooKieshas, okay? PooKieshas who are walking into Kohl's. See, this is the thing. There used to be a department in department stores called loss prevention. It used to be called loss prevention. Again, it used to be called loss prevention. And back in the day, loss prevention, they'll come Nike draws. Who were AW at Nike draws? Hey, they used to have loss prevention. And loss prevention, the minute you step out, they was chasing your ass down in the parking lot and hemming you up. So now, listen. So now you can walk into a Kohl's. And guys, this is in Noonan. So if you guys aren't familiar with Atlanta, right? Yeah, PooKiesha. You got PooKiesha, not Pookie, you got PooKiesha. So so you can walk into a Kohl's in Noonan, all right, which is in the suburbs. That's Trump territory. That's Confederate monument statue territory. And now PooKiesha so bold now. They now going to Trump territory and going to Kohl's and stealing Nike draws. This is where we're at now. This is how desperate things have gotten. This is how desperate things have gotten. These folks are bold. You could go into open carry, F-150 shotgun carrying, Confederate Noonan, and bum rush Kohl's and steal draws, and nothing will happen. and nothing will happen. They cleared out Ross and Burlington's, bro. They had to listen. Okay, that makes sense why Burlington factories here in Atlanta are shutting down. It makes sense now. I'm shocked. No, I love Noonan's a cool place. I like Noonan. I go to Noonan. There's a Thai restaurant I eat at in Noonan, and there's a black-owned bakery there named Bolton's in Noonan, right outside the square. I like Noonan. Noonan is cool. I like these small towns. I like them. I like the small towns, like the historic downtowns. I like them. I mean, Noonan is cool, but Noonan is definitely red. No confusion. I mean, you got the Sons of the Confederate in Noonan. But like I said, like this is how I roll. You don't bother me, I won't bother you. You respect me, I respect you. All right. That's how I roll. So I go to Noonan. I speak to everybody, say hello, do what I need to do, eat, chill out. go to the square, go to Bolton's, go to my little Thai restaurant, chill out, and it's all good. No problem. Noonan is cool. Folks in Noonan don't give me no problem. I don't give them no problem. But you got folks going to Noonan giving folks problems and going into Kohl's with bras and bad yacky weave and still in drawers and just walking in and walking out. I'm shocked. And listen, if one of those rednecks would have hemmed them sisters up, listen, they deserved it. You wouldn't hear no complaining from me at all. Listen, if one of them rednecks in Noonan would have hemmed them sisters up, and they have every right to. They had every right to hem up them 304s. Every right to in Noonan. Hem them up. The social justice warriors would have came, showed out. You know, you got to protect the black woman by any means necessary and all that other garbage. You got to protect the black woman by any means necessary. All that other garbage. Listen, the rednecks would have hemmed them sisters up. I would have been laughing at the footage. I mean, what is y'all doing? Still in draws. Yeah, in Noonan. They coming out to Noonan now. King of Hearts. I would say this. They are, you know, Pookie and Ray Ray and PooKiesha, they are starting to migrate more south. So they're going south of like Clayton County now. They're hitting up Fairburn now. They slowly going to Fayetteville. So Pookie and Ray Ray and PooKiesha, they're slowly moving south. I'm going to tell you what's going on. See, Pookie and Ray Ray's grandmama, they're now buying houses, Fayette County, Fairburn. You know, they're starting to buy houses further south. And what happens? Pookie and Ray Ray's and PooKiesha's grandmama is now allowing them to come stay with them in Fayette County and in Fairburn and stuff like that. And now you're getting stuff like this going on because now they have quicker access to places like Noonan. That's what's going on. And listen, they're all over the place now. But the point I'm trying to make, when one of these rednecks get fed up in Noonan and go off on these sisters, don't call me. I don't want to hear black women ain't protected. I don't want to hear none of that. They on their own. Yeah. They're not going to tolerate that down there. Trust me. They're not going to tolerate that down there. But I'm just shocked how in Noonan they was able to just walk in and walk out. I'm like, hold up. Nah, this ain't Atlanta. This is Noonan. I knew for sure they wasn't going to make it to the door. But they just walked in casually, looking a hot mess. Bad yacky, sport bras, just looking a hot mess. And nothing happened. In Noonan, I was shocked. I was shocked. Keisha, you offended? Listen, Keisha, if you're not a PooKiesha, okay? Keisha, if you're not a PooKiesha, you don't have to worry about it, okay? We're not talking about you. Keisha, you're not a PooKiesha. Okay, so we're not talking about you, Keisha. We're talking about the PooKiesha. PooKiesha is the female version of Keisha. What are some? See, here we go again. Here we go again. Here we go again. Here we go. Here we go. Here always one. What are some possible solutions to the problem? How about if it's not yours and you didn't pay for it, don't steal it? How about if it's not yours and you didn't pay for it, don't steal it? How about that? Easy. We didn't have to have a conference. I didn't have to call Killer Mike and them. I had to invite Keisha Lance Bottoms, Andre Dickens. You know, I had to get no sponsors. The Dynast Conference. Search for Huru. If it's not yours, don't take it. If you don't pay for it, don't take it. If you see a black man or black woman, you know, that's your friend, not the enemy. Don't shoot them. It's really that simple. Yeah, I'm just shocked. I'm like, where's loss prevention? Yeah, it's really that simple. The conference. What are the solutions? Okay, listen. I'm gonna have a listen. Here we go. You want to know the solutions? You guys gonna pay me I want $20,000. All right. I'll put on a conference. Well, in fact, I want $100,000. I want you guys to give me $100,000. All the Dynasts. What are the solutions? You're gonna pay me $100,000. I'll rent out a hall or some shit at a hotel, and I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna serve you guys food. All right, so we'll have a nice meal. We'll have sweet tea, lemonade, and water. I'm gonna get up on stage. Okay, I'm gonna get up on stage, and I'm gonna say the same thing. Hey, if it's not yours, you didn't pay for it, don't steal it. If you see another black man, another black woman, or anybody, you see anybody, right? Unless you have to protect yourself, don't kill them. Don't shoot them. All right? Don't shoot somebody over putting too much mayonnaise on your sandwich. Stop going into Kohl's. Stop going into Kohl's and stealing draws. And y'all go pay me. That's what you guys want. That's what you guys want. I invite some celebrities. Again, I'll invite some celebrities. They'll come. We'll intellectually masturbate on stage. Pause, no homo. We'll intellectually just pontificate and just speak big words and all this other stuff, and then we'll leave. Listen, the conference is gonna be an hour long. You got 30 minutes to eat. My speech only need 2 minutes. Y'all can answer some questions, and then we gone. But you're gonna pay me $100,000. You're gonna pay me $100,000 for the solutions. Yeah. Intellectually masturbate. Yeah, that don't sound right, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Off stage. Yeah, I don't sound right. Pause. Hard pause. But we'll just go up on stage, run our mouths. I'll call some community organizers, the community leaders, we'll get Keisha Lance Bottoms or somebody, or Stacey Abrams. Yeah, word salad. It'll be a bunch of word salad. We'll get Stacey Abrams on stage, and then y'all gonna pay me $100,000 for the solutions. Y'all gonna pay me every time somebody comes on here and says, "What are the solutions?" You're gonna send me $100,000 for the solutions. I'm gonna do a conference. Yeah, we'll have spoken word poetry. We'll try to fill in some space because it's only gonna be an hour. I'm not wasting my time. I'm not gonna be there longer than an hour. Y'all got 20 minutes to eat. All right, I'm gonna have the spoken word. That's gonna be 5 minutes. You know, we'll have some celebrity guests. You know, I don't know. We'll try to get I don't know. Let's see here. Kilo Ali. I don't know. We'll get some celebrity guests to come. And, you know, spoken word poetry. Then I'm gonna be the finale. And literally, I'm gonna come on stage. I'm gonna say this, what I'm telling you guys right now. If it's not yours, you didn't buy it, don't steal it, and stop all the damn killing and shooting each other and stop selling damn dope. And then I'm gonna drop the mic, conference over, and I'm gonna leave. Yeah, I'm gonna get Kilo Ali. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll have him perform too at the end. In fact, it'll be an hour, 15 minutes. I'm gonna let Kilo Ali, I'm gonna let him perform at the end. We'll let him perform at the end. Yeah, I'm gonna let Kilo Ali perform at the end of the conference. We'll let him perform. He's gonna be a guest speaker, and then we're gonna let him perform at the end of the conference. That's what y'all want. Y'all want solutions. So, well, I got the solutions. Yeah, Dynast X. Exactly. All right, we'll get D4L? What was Shotty Lowe's group? What was Shotty what was Shotty Lowe's group? D4L? Rest in peace, Shotty Lowe. Treyway? No, we can't. Treyway in jail. We not. It might. If we invite Treyway, that might get shot up. So we gonna Kilo Ali is a safe bet. We'll get D4L. We'll get D4L. Rest in peace, Shotty Lowe. We'll have them come, probably perform. Yeah, Shotty Lowe. Alexis, where the hell you been? Hold on, we might have to pray for Alexis. Oh, the franchise boys. Yeah, we might get the. We might have to pray for Alexis. Talk about some Shotty Lowe died. Didn't know Shotty Lowe died. Oh, Killer Mike's coming. Yeah, we gotta have Killer Mike. Shotty Lowe died. Yes, y'all, we might have to pray for Alexis. She did not know that Shotty Lowe has been dead for. No, Shotty Lowe died. He got a car accident. Yeah, he died Shotty Lowe died in a car accident off of 285 like 5 years ago. Yeah, man. So, guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button again. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. Yeah, but I saw this article too, and this really bothered me. Hold on one second. And women, listen, man, you got to just be careful in Atlanta. You got to be careful. Yeah, we might have to pray for Alexis. She said she didn't know Shotty Lowe died. We're going to have to pray for Alexis. We might have to have church this Sunday for Alexis. See, this is how bad Atlanta's getting. Sisters, you guys got to be careful out here in Atlanta. All right. You got to be careful out here in Atlanta. Parents plead for daughter's return after suspicious disappearance from Midtown Atlanta apartment. Y'all, a lot of effery is going on like in Midtown and Buckhead in Atlanta. There's a lot of effery going on here in Atlanta, especially in Midtown and Buckhead. A lot of effery going on. And I keep telling you guys, and I want to read this article, and I told you guys this before. The so-called luxury apartments in Midtown and Buckhead, there's a ton of effery going on. And that's what it is, Waiter. I know. And see, guys, this is what I'm telling you about Atlanta. Like the cost of living in Atlanta is so high, but you got a lot of people who just don't want to do the work. They don't want to put in the work. Like you can't be lazy in Atlanta no more. You can't come to Atlanta and chill no more and, you know, live off of $1,500 to $2,000 a month. Those days are over. Again, those days are over. The days of coming to Atlanta and living off of $1,500 a month, those days are over. And I'm sorry, some folks just don't want to put in the work. Why you think OnlyFans is the way it is now? Give me 1 second. Why do you think OnlyFans is jumping off the way it is? It wasn't like this back in the day. You got to get to it. And I don't know the situation behind it, sister, but they're saying like Atlanta's like #1 as far as sex trafficking. So, you know, sisters, you know, if your homegirl is saying come downtown or midtown or the Buckhead, this luxury apartment, think twice. Don't be going to no luxury apartments in midtown or downtown. I'm telling you, there's a lot of effery going on in these apartments. Let me read this article. Parents plead for daughter's return after suspicious disappearance from Midtown Atlanta apartment. I told you guys about these apartment complexes in Midtown and in Buckhead. Yeah, man, these definitely FBA. Yeah, man, there's definitely a lot of these definitely FBA. But I don't know about this sister right here, but the majority definitely some FBA homegrown American shawties. Here we go. Parents plead for daughter's return after suspicious disappearance from Midtown Atlanta apartment. Parents of here's a video right here. Oh, let's play the video. Hold on 1 second.
This morning, a young woman's family is desperate for answers after they say she was abducted. CBS 46's Madeline Montgomery is live this morning from SCAD's Peachtree Street campus. Madeline, you said this is very close to where the 24-year-old went missing.
That is right, Tori. Right behind me are the apartments that she was last seen at, the 1660 luxury apartments. And Alania Lenore's family is going to meet here on the SCAD campus today to talk to us, give us more details about the last time she was seen, as well as beg the public for help finding her and making sure that she comes home safely. And we do have a photo of her to share so you guys can see what police ask that you look out for. It's a petite woman. She's 5'4". She weighs 120 pounds. She has black hair, brown eyes. She was last seen in a blue shirt, blue shorts, and cream colored shoes. And police are asking if anyone knows anything to make sure and contact them. And Alania's friends and family have been posting all over social media. Apparently her nickname is Fruity. They've been asking anyone just to help out because they do believe that she could have been abducted. And so they just want to make sure that she gets home safely. So we're going to be interviewing the family in about 2 hours. And of course, we're going to share what they say tonight on CBS 46 News at 6:30 and at 11. But for now, reporting live in Midtown Atlanta, I'm Madeline Montgomery, CBS 46 News.
Very
Stuff like this just did not go. Stay off of dating sites. That's number one. I'm not on dating sites for a reason. It's just too much weird stuff going on these dating sites. I'm not on them. I never got on them. But there's just a lot of weird stuff going on in Atlanta. And the thing is, they're trying their hardest just to sweep everything under the rug. Like there's no problem. Or when you call out the problem, here comes team. Where the solutions at? You got the solutions? You got the solutions? Where the solutions? You got the solutions? Here they come. Was she tricking? I don't know. But it's fast money. And unfortunately, like a lot of our people, like I said, Atlanta is no longer the place where you can just come and live and you know, I don't say don't and be lazy, but not have to pull in full effort and still live decent. It's not like that anymore. Like the days of renting out a room with your roommate for $300, $350 a month, like those days are over. I mean, again, the days, listen, you know, you don't get a $750 apartment, decent apartment, and spend $375 a month, $350 a month on rent. Those days are over. So you got a lot of people in Atlanta who are living this $350 a month rent lifestyle, but in reality, the bills are piling up and the rent is high. So stay out of, man, y'all, like I said, Atlanta is something else. Hold on, here's the last story. And this one right here really bothered me. Hold on one second. Let me pull this up. Here we go. Yeah, don't get me started on Linux. Bullet removed from toddler's head. Second child was inside car. Shot up at Atlanta traffic light, family says.
Year-old boy is recovering tonight after being shot inside his father's car. Tonight we hear from his family and get an update on how that boy is.
Hey, I'm Deidre Dukes and for Courtney Bryant.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Where we begin tonight, the family of that wounded 3-year-old boy, children in the back seat of the car when he was shot this week on.
Still have not found the shooter, who they say targeted the father and his 2 sons. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor talked with the toddler's family, who says Javon Jewell's medical condition is improving.
Javon Jewell's family is obviously extremely shaken by this very disturbing shooting. But at the same time, they tell me they are grateful. Not only will Javon pull through, but his 5-year-old brother, who was also in the back seat, was not hit.
He's alert and everything, and we like to thank everybody for their prayers.
Javon Jewell's family is so grateful the toddler survived a horrific car-to-car shooting on Peter Street on Wednesday afternoon. His granddad says his condition is improving every day.
They did remove the bullet from his head. So he was real lucky. The doctor said he was real lucky because he wasn't too far from injury. the brain.
Granddad Regis Yates also revealed Javon's 5-year-old brother had also gotten a haircut and was in the car when someone pulled on the passenger side of the vehicle. There were 2 babies in the car?
They was in the
Year-old.
yes.
The father, day one.
All right, it keeps buffering, guys, but yeah, I mean, this is Atlanta. This is unheard of. So, yeah, but anyways, guys, listen, I'm gonna put the link in the chat room. I'm gonna put the link in the chat room. Before I do, guys, make sure you go. Again, make sure you go visit. And guys, hit the like button again. Please hit the like button. But please make sure you go. Oh, I hit the wrong one. Hold on, give me a second, guys. Guys, make sure you go to search for uhuru.com and buy the documentary. Again, make sure you go to search for uhuru.com and buy the documentary. Again, make sure you go to search for uhuru.com and buy the documentary, guys. Again, please buy the documentary. We're gonna take a commercial break. We're gonna play the trailer, and after that, we'll open up the lines and people will allow people to call in and add to the conversation. But again, please go to search for uhuru.com and buy the documentary, family. I greatly appreciate it. So we're gonna go ahead and take a commercial break.
So I reached out to another friend of mine. I said, look, I need to go on vacation somewhere. Where should I go? He said, go to Africa. And not only am I going to go, I'm going to explore a new country. So I went to Tanzania, South Africa, Namibia, Mali, Senegal, Morocco, Liberia, Namibia, Kenya, the Voodoo Festival in Ouida, Gambia, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire. Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria. It's been a beautiful experience, just learning more about our culture, our indigenous culture. So Uhuru means freedom in Swahili. I'm in search of my roots. In finding that, I would experience my Uhuru, which is freedom.
Till next time, Dynast Amir, I'm out. All right, guys, links in the chat room. Links in the chat room. If you want to call in, click on the link. Again, links in the chat room. If you want to call in, click on the link, and you're more the welcome, the call in. Again, you're more than welcome to call in and add to the conversation. Link is in the chat room. And once again, guys, make sure you buy the documentary at searchforahuru.com. Again, buy the documentary at searchforahuru.com. But link is in the documentary. We got Black Lion. Go ahead, Black Lion.
Oh, hey, Nas, how you doing? Thank you for on the chat. Listen, I'm sorry for what's going on in Atlanta. It's a damn shame, and like Atlanta really historically did have a great reputation for making African Americans into a great community and great upper class. But I honestly like, and I think as I agree with you when you said about the solutions problems. Like we know the solutions. The problem is that we have all the solutions. We literally have every solution. The problem with Black people is, like I said, we're just too ignorant to execute them. And one thing there's one thing that's stopping Black people from achieving anything or doing anything is literally fear. We have the solutions. We know what to do, but a lot of us don't have the balls or the cojones or the mindset to do it.
Hey, where are you from, sir?
Let me finish. I said,
because I'm a Pookie and a Ray, sir, and I understand the difference between you tether-ass Africans. So while y'all coming up here saying blacks don't have a heart and everything, I'm just wondering where you two gentlemen are from. I'm not being an asshole, disrespectful. I'm just wondering where your black ass from, sir.
Okay, I'm from Sacramento, California.
No, you're from Africa, sir. I know where you from. You don't even look.
No. I'm from Sacramento,
okay, I apologize,
California.
Sir. Why do you separate Africans from the Pookies and the Rays when you Africans just got to Atlanta and Atlanta just got messed up when you African ass niggas got over here? It was beautiful when we had everything over here. You Africans go around the world and mess it up.
Can we take our time? Hold on. Can we just take our time?
Where you from, Black Lion? Because you disrespected my race, sir. Where are you from?
I'm from I'm in California, from San Valley.
No, you're not. Your language shows you're from Africa, bro. You can't even talk English correct.
Jesus Christ!
Hold on.
You can have your spot. Hold on. You can have your piece.
That's wrong and disingenuous about both of you brothers up here disrespecting the Pookies and Rays, and y'all don't even know y'all's nationality or y'all scared to claim it, calling us punks.
Nationality.
Yes, we're Black Americans. We take our stuff to the 14th Amendment. All y'all immigrants.
I'm a Black American too. I'm a Black American too. I'm a Black American too.
You're African, sir.
Sadly, it's that, yeah, too. Me also.
Your nationality is an African slave boat, sir. See, we're indigenous to America, and you being disrespectful saying that the Pookies and Rays that's indigenous to America is like you immigrants that run over here and hate y'all's homeland, and y'all scared to fight for anything. That's why all y'all on American welfare and want to claim black. Because you just showed your country people. You just showed them Congo people, and they look nasty. You showed all them country people. If you show them again, they really look nasty and horrible, sir. I digress.
Okay. Okay, that escalated quickly. But anyway, let's get back to
you still ain't asking the question, Black Lion, because I'm a Pookie. I'm a Ray. Been to the penitentiary a couple times, and I'm just wondering how we mess up Atlanta, and you ain't even from Atlanta. You ain't even from America, sir.
Congratulations, you went to jail.
Why are you lying into us? Why are you lying, saying that you come from California, and you know that your mother and father ain't even in these lands? They from nasty-ass Africa, Pookie Africa.
My mom is from hold on, Black Light. My mom is from San Angelo, Texas. My dad is from Chicago, Illinois.
Bro, you said you from Africa, so you disqualify yourself. You said
I am African though too. I am African.
I know you is. So don't say you're black, sir.
Here's the problem with your analysis. Like
Black
a lot of African Americans.
Where are you from, sir?
San Fernando, California.
See, we stand up. See, us black folks in America, we got balls. We say where we from. You not from San Fernando, wherever you said California, because of your dialect. You come from Africa. Listen to your dialect, sir. You a liar. So how are you even black? You're not black, sir. Show your face. I'm gonna show my face. Show your face. Show your face, my nigga. See if you can grow long hair.
Don't call me a nigga,
no
please.
Africans my age grow this long hair in Africa. They have to have dreads. If you over than 40 in Africa, you have short hair. You ain't even African. You don't even have an afro. I'll embarrass y'all up here because y'all keep talking about Pookies and Ray Rays. Show your face, Black Lion.
Here.
You
Happy?
don't look like us, bro. You an African.
Happy?
Yeah,
happy?
look at your side. Look at your hair, man. You got panther hair. You got a big ass forehead like the Congolese. You got that goddamn it that missing that hair part right here, like you from Sudanian. You don't look like us, bro. Quit talking about us. We'll talk back about you.
Do you need some medication?
I got my medication right here. Here go my medication right here, bro. Here go. See, this is what we do in America. Here go my medication right there.
Hold on, is that
you
weed?
Need some medication.
Is that weed?
You got as hell, dude. You need some medication. You need to start working out with your fat ass. Talking about if I need my medication, you fat as fuck.
Oh, God.
That's your problem. Talking about black people, but you the problem.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all don't need to talk about us if you ain't gonna talk about where you from, Mr. African man. He just showed y'all's nasty ass continent. Y'all's continent worse off than Atlanta could ever be. The whole continent of Africa. Y'all don't even have running water over there that y'all legally own. That water that runs over there was made 8 years ago, and it cost $28 billion, and the Arabians made y'all water in North Africa. So y'all don't even have y'all's own running water when to talk about Atlanta. That's the only reason y'all survived, because y'all came to Atlanta, and y'all ran from y'all's country, and y'all ran to every American city in America because y'all hate y'all's homeland. Don't be talking about American Atlanta niggas. We stand there and fight and die there, my nigga. I digress, though.
Oh, God. Can we go back to, guys, can you finish the subject?
The subject is, did Pookies and Ray Rays fuck up Atlanta? And I said
yes, and the answer is yeah, and the answer is clearly yes. It's clearly yes, without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt.
Pookies and Ray Rays been in Atlanta for 100 years, sir. We've been killing people down there for 100 years, and it didn't.
Right, and listen, they are digressing, and they are digressing and getting worse and tearing shit up. And we get PooKiesha. Who? Give me let's do this. Give me proof. Show me some proof that it's the Africans that are turned to Pookies and Ray Rays here in Atlanta. Go
because everybody that's in Atlanta is an African or a Jamaican now. You could just look at them. You could tell the difference from an Atlanta nigga than one of these Africans that come over here and hate themselves like Black Lion and you, sir. Y'all hate y'all's culture. Y'all do nothing African. Y'all love us black folks. Y'all love us, but y'all ain't us, and y'all hate that. Why? Why y'all talking about the Pookies and Ray Rays? See, CNN and the black folks and the black scholarly people dominate Atlanta. We could take Atlanta scholarship to Africa and it will destroy Africa. There's more black people that's smarter than Atlanta than there is anywhere in Africa.
Atlanta is white corporate owned, black managed.
Sir, Atlanta is ran by a whole bunch of black folks. You right, it got
no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's managed, not ran. Managed.
Why don't they have CNN in Africa? Why don't they have all
CNN
the places
in
the Africa great places?
Because Africa has their own.
Why is the capital in Atlanta? Why they come to black folks' land? Why they go to sorry ass Africa? Why nothing in Africa but sorriness?
Dynast, let's not waste any more time with this. This is
y'all trying to say Atlanta.
Let's not waste our time with this.
I'm trying to say Atlanta is the greatest place until you Africans show up. People that got bald heads like this black ass dude with his hair growing back, can't get no women. That's why all them women.
Fact check. Can I ask a question? Do you smoke weed? Do you smoke weed?
Oh yeah.
Do you smoke weed?
That's an American thing. Only American.
That's an American thing. All right, but Fact Check, we appreciate you coming on, brother. Thank you for coming on. Well, but Fact Check, we'll bring you on later. But hold on, we'll and CNN is white owned. Thank you so much. But we'll bring you on later. Okay, all right, Black Line, go ahead.
Yeah, as I was saying, for all that mental retardation of ignorance. The thing is, like I said, we as African American community, we have the solutions. The problem is that we don't have the strength or the internal will to put it into motion. Like I said, we got from Chris Wilson to Garvey to Malcolm and everything else. The problem with that is we are just too ignorant, thanks to, of course, like racism was the ancestor origin, but the Black American culture in the modern day play a big contribute to that mentality. And the sad part is, like I've been saying, before we talk about segregation from white people, we need segregation from some of these people too. That's what we need to obviously just segregate. We can't. That's one thing I learned. That you can't save the race. We can't save the entire race. It's damn near impossible. And it's very disturbing. Like I'm still upset about that sister who died on the subway at Subway for dying for mayonnaise. And this is a conversation a lot of Africans don't want to talk about because we don't want to admit it, but ignorance and corruption is literally part of the culture. If Snoop Dogg, Killer Mike, or any African American rapper literally said what we're talking about right now, that is when that's when the community actually might start talking amongst each other and start to make a change. But they're not going to do it because we talk about the white racism issues, which is a big issue. But we are our own worst enemy. Like we're going to Atlanta and anywhere else, it's ridiculous. And the sad part is the thing is, if we don't do something about it, the white community's gonna do something about it. And you're not gonna like when the white community got to do something about it because they got the most power, especially politically speaking. Like we talk about how the rednecks are they're robbing and white redneck territory. I agree with 100%. If they would do what they want with them, I don't care. Like I remember the joke when Chris Rock in the 90s when he talked about black people and niggas. And one thing he said, I wish they let me join the Ku Klux Klan. I would have done a drive-by from here to Brooklyn. It was funny, but a lot of black people are on his side. It's like, yes, this nigga issue is out of control. It gotten too far. And now the black community really does community with no boundaries or no rules. I'm not saying be bougie or anything or be arrogant, but we need a form of class and respect. Like you never see Barbie and Ken from the suburbs ever get with rednecks. You'll never see them. Like you'll never see that because they have a certain standard and a certain class, not just money, but the image and self-respect. This mentality has gone too far. It has gotten so bad we don't realize the long-term damage. Was onto our community.
Let me jump in here real quick.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that guy that came on earlier. The whatever his name was. I agree with them. And I say that because, for me as an African who lives in America, I agree with them. When I come here, or when people like me come here, that's why I stay in my own little bubble. I stay in my own little community because certainly there's a lot of good things that African American have, but there's also a lot of bad things that they also have in their communities, and the same with every group. So I don't come in here trying to claim to be African Americans or, trying to be black, quote unquote, as he put it, even though I am black, but as he was trying to separate himself. And I agree with that. Your struggle and my struggles are different. We fight for different things. He's right about Africa. There's a lot of shit going on in Africa that we run away from. So he's saying a lot of facts, but looking at him, he certainly looks like he has some mental
Elvis,
issues.
let me ask you this. If you don't
Go
mind
ahead.
me asking, let me ask you this, right? So I'm like yourself, I'm Liberian.
Right.
I came here when I was like really young. So I grew up in America. I grew up in the black community. Growing up, a lot of my friends were either black American or Hispanic. And this is my thing when people say, "Oh, y'all came here, you ran away from your home, you did this and did that." Okay, fine. Let's just say that we'll talk about the state that Africa is in. But for me, it's like they're fighting a competition to see who's the world's tallest midget. Because if you look at Black America, what do they own in America? What do they control? So you can
Bro,
say yes, you can say Africa. Go ahead.
I'm saying like the one thing when I come on this platform, I try to be as brutally honest as possible. Some people come in here and they try to sugarcoat things and and sing kumbaya. But certainly there is a difference, there is a divide, you know.
Right.
And what the guy was saying, whether he's taking his talking points from Tyreek or not, there's certainly the underlying truth that there is a divide. We're not the same, quote unquote. Even phenotypically, he might be mixed with some white, some European. So he has some, a little bit of a straighter hair and maybe a longer length, and he thinks that makes him better
That's all
than a
right,
typical African, But again,
Okay.
I'm not here to fight.
I'll
I'm
give
not
you
here
that
to
point.
fight to be African American. I'm African. I'm an African who lives in America. I know the shit that's going on in my country. I know the shit that's going on in my continent. I know we have problems. And true, some of us ran away from it. We came to America for a better
Right.
life. So what he's saying is
I
not
agree.
completely wrong. So I'm not going to come here and try to, down talk on and
I
talk
mean,
him.
it wasn't completely wrong, but it was completely ignorant. It was completely ignorant. for him to talk about, oh, Africans don't got running water and this and that, but FBOA, ADOS, do they control running water in America? Without white people, would they be able to sustain themselves?
Hey, bro, that's the nuance to the whole issue.
So
So I'm not
that's my
even going to
thing.
get
Like,
into it. That's the nuance. He doesn't understand that
right, but
if
that's
he
my thing.
left
So how are
America
we
right
talking
now,
about?
and no offense to the African Americans on this platform, right? And we saw in Liberia they had some success, but also on the backs of the natives as well. If you took all the African Americans and put them on an island in 50 years, right, you'll have some development, but the majority of African Americans who are not the educated class, the professors and the doctors,
Every other
they will be the one. Yeah, they will be the ones to run that civilization down, just like any other black nation on the planet.
Like every other
So
African country,
yeah, like
maybe
any
even
other
worse.
African country. So it's not something that is unique to Africa. It's not a pandemic that Africans are just destructive, or it's all black people on the entire planet.
Right,
So
that's what I'm saying.
we won't get into the
That's
nuance,
all I'm
but
trying to
on
say.
the face of what he's
For
saying,
him to
he's
come on
right in
here
in some capacity.
Wait, hold on.
he makes
Wait, Joel, hold on. Listen, forget what that last brother said. Forget what he said. The whole point of this conversation is talking about the ignorant Negroes in the African American community that's destroying the decent communities of Atlanta. That's it. It has nothing to do with Africa or Africans being in America. That's a whole nother subject. He just used that as a cop out to find a reason to attack. Because he felt attacked, so he had to find something to attack us with something. So what he said has nothing to do with conversation. That's a whole other subject. That's nothing to do with it. We're just focusing on the ignorance and dysfunctional people in our community that's destroying the African Americans' decent way of life in Atlanta or any other distant city.
Black line, I agree. But here's the problem. Like, I completely agree with what you're saying. I completely agree. The problem with, and I think we've gotten a little bit far afield when we come here to talk about Africans versus African Americans, or not even versus, but whatever. The problem with the Black American community is, like you said, every other community, they look down on this behavior. This behavior is sort of degenerate. But the problem with Black America is that what other communities see as degenerate, they celebrate. Not only do they celebrate, but they reward that behavior, right?
Yes.
So what are all the kids, the young kids who want to get girls, what are they doing? They want to sell drugs. They want to be in the streets, because guess what? That's what attracts women in this degenerate culture.
Let me add to that. One thing,
what do all the girls want? All the girls want to be Meg Thee Stallion or Cardi B, or Ari Fletcher.
I agree. But one thing we gotta learn from Harriet Tubman is no different when Malcolm X said the house Negro and the field Negro. Who's the house Negro and who's the field Negro? That's when the separation is gonna have to exist. Because that's one thing, because even Harriet Tubman had to agree. Not everyone's gonna come with me for the race to freedom. So that's what I'm saying. We talk separate from Europeans and their community. All right, fine. But we have to do in our community first. That's why we haven't made any progress after the civil rights era for almost 50 years. We have to segregate. I don't care if you're African American. I don't care. As long as you're not ignorant, useless Negro, you can be a great benefit to the community, and that's what's going to need to start.
It's I see what you're saying, but the problem is that it's so far gone. You're talking about Harriet Tubman. I don't think the majority of these kids today even know who Harriet Tubman is. Just to be honest with you, so far gone that
that's why you see I keep my commentary on the things that I know best. I know me. I know my people. I know my country. I know my culture. I'm not going to come here and try to pontificate on African American culture because I'm not African American. I see a lot of Africans will come here and they try to put their 2 cents into what's going on in the Black American community, when really we're not really a part of that community and we really don't know the struggles. So certainly that I would advocate for us coming together and having some.
I grew up in the African American community.
Hey, and let's do this, guys. Let's do this. Enigma TV, go ahead, Enigma TV.
First point is, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Okay. First point is, I feel like our culture's been diluted. We're really not allowed to really have a close-knit community or whatever. But I really was just listening in, but that's all I really got to say right now.
Okay. All right. All right, King Tutoring, go ahead.
Hey, thank you for having me on, my brother. You always allow me to come in and speak, and I just don't like the bashing of the FBA. It's crime. I feel bad for the kids and the sisters, and it's that crime. If they're from Haiti, if they're from Atlanta, I think we should focus on crime and maybe not just trying to bash or put another man of color down from a different continent. So that's just
Hey, bro, you're breaking up. Like it's not coming in clear. You're breaking up. Yeah, you're breaking up. Yeah, his mic was acting up. Let me guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in, please add to the. I mean, if you want to add to the conversation, please click on a link. If you want to add to the conversation, please click on a link.
And also, I want to say a lot of African Americans they can't really spot wealth. They don't really even know that they're really wealthy. They just turn around and just go back home. But I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah.
Yo, Dynast, what do you think about what I'm saying? You know, I see that you're involved in Africa. You're African American, quote unquote. But you know, I see a lot of people on this on the panel. That's why you see sometimes I don't engage in some of these shows when the topic is focusing on the Black American community, right? Because I see a lot of people on the panel. You know, most of the time they're African. You know, first generation or second generation, and they're trying to pontificate and talk on the topic when it's dealing with African American issues. When I feel like it's really not our place to deal in that, to deal with that, to try to delve into the issues that African American are facing, in America. I don't know if you think I'm wrong for saying that, but for me, every time I come on here, that's why people don't like me. Some people think I'm divisive or whatever, but I speak from my heart. I don't try to be quote unquote politically correct and be all kumbaya and we can do this together. I look at it from two different perspectives. I'm on one side and the other person is on another side. We can try to meet in the middle, but I'm not going to jump from my end and jump in your section and act like I'm you, because I don't, I'm not you. I have my own experiences and my own, my own reasons behind the things that I say and the things that I do. So I don't know how you see it, Dynast. If you think I'm out of pocket for saying it like that, or we all Africans, all Africans who are in America should act and think like African Americans because, quote unquote, we are all Black, and therefore the same thing that affects Black people in America affects African immigrants as well. What do you think about that? I want to get your thoughts.
I think J Dolo, Black Lion, even you guys have your own. You have the right to your opinion. I mean, that's fine. I mean, you're in America. You're American. I think you're an American. So you have the right to your opinion. So I don't see the problem with it, with any type of criticism. Because on one end, especially when it comes to Black America, we want to brag on how we set all the trends. So everybody wants to be us. As when the brother who called in, we fought and all this other stuff. But then when it comes to criticism, it's like we want to make every excuse up for it. When it comes to the dysfunction in our communities, we got a ton of excuses and we want people to stay out of it, but it's affecting everyone. So I think that's the problem. Kay, go ahead, Kay.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on the show. Can y'all hear me all right?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I agree with, I'm not sure who said it. I just caught on to the show, but I agree with it. It's the things that are put into what our so-called culture is supposed to be, things that are accepted within our culture are the problem. So that's like you said, the Meg Thee Stallions, the Cardi B's. One thing that I touch on hard is
exactly
back in the day, we had our hip hop, this, that, and the other, and it wasn't all. I mean, don't get me wrong, you'd hear some gang stuff, or I might shoot you, but it didn't start out like that. It wasn't as proliferated, and now you got this drill music thing, And the thing that was crazy, I'm not really hip to it. I don't really listen to a lot of that stuff. But what I wasn't hip to was the fact that, all these kids that are in this drill music, they're young kids. Like in the Chicago area, it used to be the, quote unquote OGs, and essentially grown folks that were out doing the gang banging and this, that, and the other. And now I didn't realize that all these kids.
Hey, bro, you're breaking up, Kay. You're breaking up. You're breaking up.
My bad, man. I'm in a mountainous area. Can y'all? Is it a little bit clearer now?
It's a little bit. Go ahead.
Yeah. But like I said, hopefully I'll get in a better zone. But I end up to say, man, these are young kids, and it's being proliferated within our culture. And I always ask the question, what is our culture really? Because things that they claim to be our Black African American culture.
Yeah. Okay, do me a favor. When you get to a more stable place, call back in. You keep breaking up. Miss Show Me State, go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Oh, okay. I was on mute. Hi, Dynast. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Hey, the documentary looks awesome. I do intend to get it. Congratulations with that project.
Okay, you gotta get your copy today. You gotta get your copy today. Get your copy today.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I just wanted to first I want to say to Mr. Elvis Morris, thank you for stepping back and staying out of FBA and AOS's issues. And I know that they're being affected by it, Dynast, but what I'm saying is our issues in this country is 18 generations deep, dealing with white supremacy. And
yeah, but we're not talking about white supremacy right now. We're talking about Pookie and Ray Ray.
Here come the excuses.
But see, it was a systematic way how we got here, is what I'm saying.
Here come the excuses.
I'll do respect. That's an excuse. What does Pookie and Ray Ray destroying the community got to do with systematic anything?
Okay, so we don't agree that our people have been stripped down to bare bones, and we had to create our own culture. You know what I'm saying? From scratch, everything was stripped.
So does that?
The language. Does
that justify shooting somebody over a mayonnaise sandwich?
Let her finish. Go ahead, Miss Show Me State. Go ahead.
And I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just saying that it was a systematic way how we got here. Our people have been through full frontal trauma for years and years, and our men have been destroyed. And so the kids have been left out here to fend for themselves. They're angry, they're hurt. I mean, it's a whole lot going on there. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you to the African guy who understands that our issues aren't his issues. And we've got a lot of things that have caused us to get here. It's not like Blacks just woke up, got off the ship, and started destroying America. There's a reason, and there's a system that has been just breaking us down to get us here. And that's my position on it. Thank you for having me, Dynast.
No problem. I just honestly, personally, I just think it's an excuse, and it's not fair or right to our ancestors to I guess
I 100% agree with that.
To leverage them as an excuse for why we're tearing up our own community and breaking into codes and stealing underwear. I don't think it's fair to our ancestors to do that. We know right from wrong.
I have to say, it's not our fault for the way our community is as historically wise, but it is our fault as a community for keep holding that type of mentality and be involved in it even more. Like it's like I understand white people are the original creators of the Pookie and Ray Ray and the PooKieshas. Very true. But it's our fault for keep it going. They should have stopped. There should be a point in time where it should have stopped that mentality. It's like, no, look at the long-term damage you're doing. I said we got some, but it shouldn't never be as big as it is today.
Black Lion, we've got, just think about this. When the drugs and the guns and all that hit, I'm thinking late 80s. I'm almost 50. So, I mean, when it hit us pretty bad, you got this whole new generation of millennials and younger, all they've ever seen is guns and drugs and killing and blah blah blah. So how can they know anything else when that's all they ever grew up with?
Can I
Yeah,
say
but
something?
nobody,
I have a question.
but
I have a
nobody
question.
forced. But when I guess when the CIA put drugs in our community, nobody forced us to go and cook it up and sell it to our own people.
And
Well,
That's correct. I agree.
and on
but
top of that,
Miss
why
Show Me
why
State, I have a
we like
question.
go on.
Yes.
I was gonna say, Miss Show Me, I have a question, right? So
Sure.
a lot of people talk about the crack epidemic. I believe the crack epidemic started in the early to mid '80s, right? So my question is, because this is an excuse that a lot of people use. Oh, it was the crack epidemic before, like, well, so what was the black community before crack hit? Like, were they
You know,
thriving, and
I'm
then all
gonna
of a sudden crack hit?
I'm gonna say something that since you were talking to Miss Show Me Stay, right? Your question.
Sorry about that.
So
Yeah, it was her.
I'm just gonna say this, and this is I'm not trying to be disrespectful. You're the brother from Liberia, right? And I know you say you were raised in America, but I just feel like you all seriously don't understand the depths of the trauma and the abuse and stuff that we've been dealing with. You're living off the fatty of the land right now. You're living off of all of our sweat, blood, and tears and trauma and abuse and so forth. So you don't really get it as far as I'm concerned. And so why are people started doing drugs? We've been through
That
some
doesn't
shit.
answer the question.
Well, it doesn't
It's
to
not
you.
why you started doing drugs. I
well,
was saying,
can I
why
answer
did
that
It
like
doesn't to
question?
what
you.
was
Nah,
the black
you
community
gotta,
before
yeah,
crack
bro.
hit?
If you ask her a question, you gotta let her speak from her experience and what she knows from her personal experience. You can't answer the question for her. Just let her answer.
Thank you. I'm just saying you don't know our struggle here. You just got here 5 minutes ago.
Well, if I can interject, and
Go ahead,
greetings to
RP.
everyone. Thank you. Greetings to everyone. Greetings to the host. To the question you just asked, Jay Dolo, I believe it was you. What were we doing before the crack and the
Dolo.
drugs? Yeah, Dolo, pardon me. We were literally for a long time on
You're fine.
plantations, sharecropping, tenant farmers. And then during the 1920s to the 1930s, there was the Great Migration, in which we were in industrial situations where we were strike breakers being used by racist people to break strikes when they couldn't come up with agreements with white employees to treat them right. And then they manipulated us to work in the factories in unsafe conditions for lower wages. And then you have prohibition, which prohibition actually did the opposite of what the federal government said they wanted to do, which was prohibit the sale of drugs. It escalated it, and then it was promoted in juke joints and little shacks and shit. You know what I'm saying, among white people and black people. So you have the inundation of that in the community. People were being paid in alcohol. Sometimes you have literal white people running plantations that would shortchange the sharecroppers and the tenant farmers, refuse to pay them to say, hey, you can have some liquor though. You get it? So people are drunk in some instances, people are using other substances, whatever that is at the time. I believe 7 Up even had lithium back in the day. So there's a lot of medication, self medication going on, and the breakup of family. And we talk about the breakup of family in the 60s and the 70s occurring when they told black women, oh, you can't have your husband in the house. That wasn't the only time. I'm reading a biology about Fannie Lou Hamer right now. Her family got broken up because they had to move around from plantation to plantation. Some of the siblings had to, get married in order to try to come up economically. So that took away from the household where people could make some money. Her father died. Her mother went blind chopping wood in the woods, and something went in her eye, and they didn't have money to fix her eyesight. So now the mom can't make money. The matriarch is falling on the kids, and the kids are all separating, getting married. And you get what I'm saying? So it's more than one mechanism to Miss Show Me
Exactly.
State's point as
Thank
to why
you.
there was a degradation. And then you have the education system. I've been substitute teaching, and I stayed a substitute teacher on purpose so I could move around from district to district in different counties. And you all really need to understand there is a miseducation occurring to the students. They're not getting the activities that they need to be constructive, universal people. They're being taught things about sexual confusion when they should be in labs, when they should be outside, when they should be allowed to play.
And
School
see,
too damn long in the first place, 8 hours. It needs to be between 4 and 6 hours, depending on the age. And then on top of that, you got this fluorescent lights. If the children eat free lunch, the lunch is crap. The lunch
it
is
is.
made out of synthetic products, not food. And then they're away from their parents, and God only knows the stress that the families who either are separated because of some type of systematic prescription, right? Or because of economic strain. So let's not just go there and say, oh, yeah, Black people, what we were doing before, it's not all our fault. This is a response to
Exactly.
a system, like she's saying, like Mr. Neely Fuller Jr. says, like Marimba Ani says, Marimba Ani, Dr. Amos Wilson, and many more. We do not live in a system of justice. Justice is a system in which there is balance among people. No one is mistreated, and those who need help get the most constructive help. I'll mute my line for now.
RP, can I ask RP? If I could ask a question to Miss RP and Michelle Me State, have you guys ever lost a family member to gang violence? Or
yes.
Okay. So that I'm assuming that person looked like me and you who killed your loved one.
Absolutely.
Or did you like give him that? So when you found out the person who killed your loved one, did they get the, he's just a victim of the circumstances of slavery and sharecropping, and we were paid in alcohol and bootleg liquor, so did he get a pass, and did you tell him that?
No, listen, wait, see,
okay.
you misinterpreting reasons for
You're-
excuses. Nobody's making an excuse for us to be, nobody is saying that we should not be on our best behavior at all. We are asserting there is a program in place for people to be rewarded to not be on their best behavior, and do not manipulate words any other way.
Dinus, we absolutely are hurt by the condition of our people, just like everybody else. Believe me. I'm just saying that we have been under such a systematic attack to keep us poor, to keep us down, to keep us pushed out of the system, other than to be laborers and foot workers for this system. Come on, you know what this is, don't you? You know what you're looking at. We are under attack here. And we're going to continue to be under attack. Our children are constantly going to be under attack until we intervene and separate ourselves. And that's the way I see it. And that's why I love the African movement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does everything?
Hold on. We got some other people on the panel. I want to pass. Go ahead, Theo.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon or good evening, everyone. All right. So there's a lot of nuance to this whole thing, of course. But first, I would like to say, I definitely don't feel like things have gotten worse. I grew up, in the 80s, 90s, and it was crazy. The stuff we see now, I look at my neighborhood that I grew up in now compared to when I was growing up. I was scared to walk to my grandmother's house, and it was only a few blocks from where I live, just because of the things that went on in broad daylight, the things that I've seen happen to people in broad daylight. I don't see it like that now. It's by a long shot, right? It was just every day, people congregated on the corner, violence, drug deals, gunshots.
Well, let me ask Theo, Theo, where are you from and what neighborhood or community did you grow up in?
I'm from Florida, just outside of Orlando, a little small city called Sanford. You heard
Sanford? That's outside of Tallahassee. Where's Sanford at? That's South Florida.
Sanford is just north of Orlando, where the whole Trayvon Martin thing went down.
Okay, bingo. So,
but if you look outside of any downtown in the 80s and 90s, you see gentrification now, but no one was hanging out.
And Theo, that was gonna be my next question. Has Sanford been gentrified since you I guess.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah,
I mean, downtown.
That's probably why it's safer.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, if I look at downtown Orlando, downtown Sanford, even downtown like Atlanta and other, cities that I've been to in the 80s and 90s, nobody was going to dinner downtown. No one was going out, on a date night downtown anywhere in the 80s and 90s. Not hardly anyway. Just because there was so much homelessness, so much.
Because it wasn't gentrified. It's gentrified now, so it's different.
Well, but it wasn't gentrified because there was a lot of activity going on also.
Well,
I mean, nobody wanted to invest. People were afraid. Let's just be real.
No. Here we go, Theo.
Here
we go, Theo. So this is what's going on now. Even with all in Atlanta, even with all the investment in gentrification, Pookie and Ray Ray is getting out of control. Like even with all the investment, the gentrification, like it's cracking out here. They're like, freak all that. We still gonna do what we do. So on the outside, it might look cleaner. You might have a Starbucks, and CVS and Starbucks and all that other stuff, but they out here shooting up and selling dope next to the Starbucks.
Yeah, listen, I'm not saying it's good, but even if you look at the statistics, I mean, the numbers are better now than they were then. And I'm not saying that's good, but I'm just, stating it as a matter of fact. Like things have, and specifically when you talk about Atlanta, it doesn't seem like Atlanta has gone back.
The numbers aren't better. As far as home ownership, it's gone down when it comes to Black people since.
Well, I mean, as far as like violent crime. But I wanted to say this also. I think we have to stop owning this violence, as a we. Because honestly, it's only a small group of people usually who create or exact the crime that we see, right? Usually it's repeat offenders. It's not all Black folks, so it's not us. And I would like to say, I can't predict the future, but Black men are not destroyed. Like we're not destroyed. We haven't been destroyed. The Black community has not been destroyed. It's troubled, but it's troubled, I think, by a minority more so than a majority. I think the majority of young people are at risk because they can be influenced, but
I agree.
We have to stop owning it as if it's our behavior as a whole and start putting it exactly where it is with the people who are actually doing the crime. And I think part of the problem is because we own it, we have to make excuses for it, right? Or turn a blind eye to it instead of separating it from Black folks, right? This isn't our behavior, right? And when we can separate it from Black folks, then we can separate the folks who are doing it, right? And then they can make a conscious decision to either one, join in with the Black folks who aren't doing those things, right? Because they want to still be a part of the community, or just be outside of the community and get what's coming to them, for lack of a better term. Because it's not us. It's not all of us. It's not a Black thing. The Black community isn't destroyed. The Black man isn't destroyed. I get the history. I get the inequality that goes into crime, and I think that's where it lies. And I think if there's anything that as a collective we can own, it's the reality that to a degree we kind of perpetuate inequalities in society until we can get to a place where we can start addressing the inequalities. You may not be able to fight the crime per se, but there's a lot of inequality in society which we participate in perpetuating. That's a bigger subject. Go ahead.
So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's pass it to Alexis, then we'll pass it back to you, RP. Let's pass it to.
Can I speak after RP?
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead, Alexis. Then we'll pass it to RP. Go to Alexis. Unmute yourself.
Hey, I'm just. Can you hear me? Good.
Yeah. Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so I just wanted to respond to the two ladies on the panel. Like, do you ever get tired of complaining about the things that we've gone through? And like, are you really trying to find a solution for yourself or your family or your community so that you don't have to complain about these things?
Okay, so before I answer that, I want to ask you a question.
And then I
Can you
want to
just
answer
answer my
too.
question first?
No, I will ask you a question because I need context to answer your question. What did you interpret about what we said was a complaint and why?
It's pretty much like I hear the same thing from different people with this whole situation about the rundown of everything that we've gone through. Like we all like I understand how like African people that move to the United States, they don't know everything. But it just seems like it's a lot of trauma bonding that much of the older generation does to find an excuse to be content with living in the United States and not really having any solutions. Like you just come
No
onto the
one said they
panel
were
just to
content.
Right.
complain.
Which
No
one of
one
us
said they.
said we were content?
Can I
And then I
finish?
have a question too before you elaborate. Since you asked us a question, I believe you asked me and RP a question, and I have a question for context. Are you a foundational Black American? Like, were you born
I'm
here?
African American. I don't claim those abbreviations of
So were your
FBA,
parents born
ABA.
in America? Were your
I'm
parents born in America?
African American, yes.
What does it matter?
It
Oh, it
doesn't
matters a
matter.
lot. It does matter. It matters quite the bit. And this was the point I made when I first came on. See, we have to look deeper. And I know
There
that
we
you
go.
don't believe there's a cause and effect to everything.
Jesus.
There
And
we go.
Okay,
okay,
wait, real quick, because I wasn't intending on being on here too
me
long because I
either.
know it's
Me
a lot of
either.
people. But to Miss Fowler's point, to Jay Dolo's point, and anyone that is in opposition to what I said. So I provided evidence based on historical facts as to what Ms. Show Me State was speaking of causation. You can't cure a problem or solve a problem without knowing the causes and knowing all the things therein that would perpetuate that cause to have an effect, whether it be adverse or something positive. So, with that
So what are the
said,
solutions?
okay, moving on, Mr. Dolo.
They don't
Here
care
come your
about the
solutions,
solutions. They just
baby.
want
Oh,
to
If you're ready. Well,
complain
no.
all
Wait,
day.
y'all. Hold
wow.
up. Here come your solutions. If you really want a solution,
I
I
have
would
my
I do.
extend
solution.
Miss
I'm asking
Fowler, Miss
about your
Fowler, Miss
solution.
Fowler. Get
Not
Let,
really.
ready.
let, let, I want to.
Let
I gave
RP
the
talk.
solutions already. I want to hear her solution. I already gave the solution,
Miss
but I want to hear her
Fowler.
solution. Go
What
ahead.
is her
Write this
solution?
down. Write this
I'm not
down.
writing anything down. You
I
need to
know
figure out
because
your
because
solution.
here's the thing. I suspect that you are a young adult and you are among at least two ladies who are your elders. And so you may still be
That does not
learning,
mean
as are we,
anything.
but I have some solutions for you as an elder.
I don't
You should
need
look
the
up,
solutions. I
produce,
have my
you just
solution
asked for a
already.
solution.
No,
So
I
No,
now
asked
I
for
you're
do.
your
contradicting yourself.
solution. You're not
Yeah,
getting
Okay.
my
she's
Okay,
young.
well,
It's
solution.
clear
Guys,
that
we
it's
want to hear
clear
the
she's
solution.
young.
hold on, one
Okay,
mic,
well
one
just
mic,
at least at
hold
least
on,
let me
Let her
talk.
talk. Yeah.
no,
Because
RP, I want to hear your solutions. Go ahead. No one, please don't interrupt. No one, do not interrupt. Go ahead, RP.
there is a list. I put it in the chat. It's called 10 Things Black People Should Stop Doing Now. And the list was created by Mr. Neely Fuller Jr. It goes through stop name calling, stop cursing, stop gossiping, stop robbing, stop being discourteous. And there's even an addition by Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, in which would really, if implemented by Black people now, would help solve the problem. Stop throwing down trash where Black people live, work, and play. Stop making dirt and filth the norm. Stop using and selling drugs to one another. Stop letting Black children think that as children they can be adequate mothers and fathers. Stop believing that welfare will save you. Start believing in prosperity. Stop pretending that racism, white supremacy doesn't exist. Stop being divided and conquered and allowing Black, brown, red, and yellow people from being divided by white supremacy. Now, yes, white supremacy is the thread that drives through this list because it is the cause. However, if you so decide to go to producejustice.com or to endarkenment.com and look up the 10 stops that I just gave you and implement them on an individual level, and then hopefully you can spread that out to the group to promote constructive behavior, then we will have a solution. This is also going to include divestment from entertainment, which is just full out trash. I think we can agree on
Amen to
that by
that.
now. Trash. Let us stop conducting menticide. Let us respect each other mutually and get to the point where we understand we are universal people. That includes our younger audiences. With peace and love, Miss Fowler, and
Let me say
everyone
something
else.
about this
Thank
topic
you.
right
Bless
quick.
you, RP. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. She dropped the mic with that one. I just don't
Yeah,
believe
let
that
me. Can I
people who
respond to that?
really. Dynast, I just want to thank you for having me on the show. I'm gonna go ahead and close out and thank you for having me.
No
Can I
problem.
say
Thank you.
Can
something
I just say
popular real
something
quick?
real
Right.
quick?
Well, hold on.
Yeah,
Hold on.
I
That
wanted to
was
respond.
hold on. Since it was directed towards Alexis. Alexis, go ahead and respond. We'll pass it to, I think Jay Dullo wanted to say something. All right, go ahead, Alexis.
I said what I said because when we have these discussions and point out the issues within our own community, there's always like a few older people in our community that has to do the rundown and the sad story and the traumas that we've gone through instead of creating the solution on the panel. It's just really like redundant and it's like a
I
broken
gotta get on
record.
the
Like
show.
nobody wants to hear the first events of why we're here in America and our issues and oh I don't have enough money, all this other stuff. Like I'm just really tired of the broken record of everything that we've gone through instead of working on progressive conversations of what can be the solution instead of telling African people you don't know what we've gone through. Like just be more progressive and stop bringing up everything that we've gone through and why we're so degenerate. Let's focus on how to stop being degenerate. That's it.
Man.
Hey,
All right.
so
Okay, I'll jump in.
Hold on. Let's pass it to Jay Dullo. Then we'll pass it to Success 2201. Go ahead, Jay Dullo.
Yeah, I'll jump in. I wholeheartedly agree with Alexis. Right. No disrespect to those two older women. I'm sure they're much older than me. No disrespect to them. But the first problem facing, I'm not gonna say facing the Black community, but first, it's the degeneracy, it's the crime, it's the behavior. And the second biggest problem that no one wants to talk about is the excuses that we come up for the degeneracy, the behavior, and the crime. It's always, oh, well, we were here 500 years ago. This is all white supremacy. And we always find a way to root it back to white supremacy instead of taking accountability and say, all right, maybe people when they're 16, 17-year-olds shouldn't be having kids, especially when they ain't got no money. Maybe we should not throw trash in our streets. Maybe we shouldn't be killing people over fries that's too cold and too much mayonnaise on our sandwiches. And I understand what they're saying in a historical context, yes. But you also have to understand in history, groups of people have gone through unspoken things. It can't be an excuse for this degenerate behavior. 1,000 years from now, no one's going to care where Black people came from. If we're still in the same state, no one's going to care. No one's going to make excuses for it. So yes, we have the white supremacy excuse for now. But as
Yo,
time goes on, no one's going to care. That's all I was saying.
J Dolo, is there a pandemic of Black people killing people over too much mayonnaise or cold fries? Those are one-off situations, so you can't pin it as
But
it's
why
something that's
even
been
one is
going
too
on
many?
for years.
One
One
is
is
too
too
much,
many.
bro. I mean, come
Yeah,
on,
one is too
man.
much,
Come
but
on,
people have
Elvis. Elvis, come
people
on,
have
Elvis.
What
mental
are we
health
what are we
issues.
talking about?
Saying it got the whole community.
Those
What are we
behaviors
talking
could be
about?
accounted to some mental health issues as well. Black people are not
Ain't no
immune to it. There
mental
are some
health, man.
crazy
Come
people
on.
out here who do crazy things.
Yeah, yo, this is exactly what I just said. The excuses.
Okay. All
The
right, let's do
excuses.
this.
This is
Let's do this.
exactly what
Let's
I
do
just said.
this. Success 2201. Go ahead.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
All right. So I just wanted to say, let me just start off with this. I just want to say that I do want to give an appreciation for my ADOS brothers and sisters, all the history they have done in America. And I just want to thank them because it wasn't for their fight and their struggle, none of us would be here in the United States. That's number one. But let me continue. Now, I agree with the sisters that was talking about the issues that's affecting our community. She's correct. Now, I just have a question. During those times, right, in the 1900s, where we was going through the racism, segregation, lynchings and stuff, right? We had a man called the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He came during the time where black people was getting killed left and right. But during that time, he was able to raise black men and black women into pristine people. Can we all agree to that? Can we all agree to that?
Yeah.
All right,
Right?
go ahead and finish. Go ahead. He didn't raise everyone, but
No,
go
we
ahead.
can't agree to that.
No, he didn't raise
No,
everyone.
I'm just saying that not everyone, but I'm just saying that he just took the men, the black men and black women who are mentally dead, and made them into significant, intelligent beings. Right?
He didn't
That's
take.
what
gotta go ahead and put your point, bro. Because everybody ain't gonna agree.
Let me continue. Hold on. Let me continue. Also, not just him. You got Dr. Malachi York. He did the same thing too. You had also Dr. King, and you had other prominent leaders, right? But even during those times, during segregation and everything too, we still had a black unit, we still had a black family, and we were the most productive people back then. Correct? Can we all agree?
It wasn't a culture though.
I'm saying we can go back in history. We can see that there was a lot of black inventors, right? And elites, right?
Man, just spit your point.
All right, but I'm just saying that now, during the 1980s, we got drug infested, correct crime and everything too. Now the family unit is destroyed. Because back in 1965, we was married at an 80-20 majority of the time. Now we look at that. Father's not in the home. Now it's 20-80. So can we agree that the family unit is destroyed, right? Can we agree to that?
I'm trying. Success. We know everything you're saying. We know, but I'm just trying to. What's going on?
No, I'm just saying that pretty much is that the fathers is not in the home, because when we had the fathers in the home, we were more productive men inside the household. Not saying that there's an excuse over here to all that behavior is going on in Atlanta, because if we look at Texas, there's also prominent black communities in Texas that are rich. What I'm just saying is that if you look at another group, for example, the Asian community, right? When they came into the United States, they were called Orientals. They petitioned and said, yo, stop calling us Orientals. But with us, this N-word is flying around, and we're not petitioning the word. Can we all agree to that? We're accepting certain.
Bro, success, bro. But hold on. Let's Pan Africanism strikes back. Go ahead, bro. Let me just Pan Africanism strikes back. Go ahead.
Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, so the thing is, people always say, a lot of people talk about the Black American and what would he have done without the white man and all this stuff. I think what we did in Liberia is about what we would have done without the white man, because coming out of slavery, we were the ones who were the experts and the masters of all the skills of all the nation building skills that built America. This is true. Booker T. Washington reinforced this by encouraging Black people to learn those skills and teach their children those skills. So Black Americans have always had a capacity for nation building, the infrastructure. It wasn't until later on where we basically begin to desire something else, which coincided with the civil rights movement, where white acceptance became the number one most sought after thing in the number one most important achievement in the Black community. So could we have built a nation without white people? Of course we could. We built this nation.
You didn't build Liberia without white people, Brandon.
Oh, here we go. Here go the hate. Here go the hate. Oh,
I didn't say we built.
Here we go.
Listen. It's like saying white people didn't build America. Yeah, they did, because they put Black people in the positions to help them build America. They put Italians in a position to help them build their country. So when African Americans went to Liberia, we put the Liberians in position to help us build Liberia, right? So
not just the Liberians, but the loans that you took from America. That's what helped build Liberia.
Listen, bro. Every African country is taking loans right now. So if you say that the African American can't build a country. Well, neither can the African, because he's taken more loans than African Americans ever took from Liberia. I mean, from America. You guys took billions and billions of dollars and continue to do that. I know the loans we took from America couldn't have been in the even any higher than the millions,
Listen,
right?
Brandon,
God didn't count for inflation.
Brandon, let me interject real quick. When Samuel Doe, when the indigenous took power, they took more loans in that small period of time than they ever did during all of the American-Liberian rule, and that's a fact. So go ahead.
Oh yes, yes. So the whole thing is, yes, we've always had the capacity for nation building, but our communities and everything got destroyed. And I'm not going to say they got destroyed. They were destroyed, and they were destroyed by us in part. A large part of it was because of us. I'm not putting nothing off on the white man, right? But the whole point is that's what we're dealing with now. If you've been looking at my channel, I've been for the whole week basically talking about African American accountability and how we need to, acknowledge and take responsibility for the current situation our community is in, just like Atlanta. That's much different from you Liberians, like you, Elvis. You guys still trying to play the blame game. So it's so funny how the pot is calling the kettle black when you guys are doing as much doing as much buck passing as anybody when it comes to the current state of your country. You guys fought against other black people, kissed white butt, saying that if you guys got the country, it'll be better. You guys took the country and it got way worse. And so now what we're trying to do is continue to lead you Liberians on the path in which you should go by displaying accountability for what's going on in our community in America, and maybe you guys will follow suit. Atlanta is terrible.
That's where
It's not
you're
good.
wrong, Brandon. 1 second. Let me get in here for 30 seconds. That's where you're wrong,
ahead,
Brandon.
Elvis.
For me, I speak on Liberia because I understand the nuances. I understand the actual the atmosphere during the times when these things happen. I don't understand a lot of the nuances in the African American community. I don't understand what you guys has been through, the historicity behind, what led to some of your problems. I know what happened in Liberia. And when you talk about people, building Liberia, it didn't happen in a vacuum. Like Tubman said, he borrowed $11 million from the United States to help build our executive mansion. He borrowed money for our finance ministry. He borrowed money for a lot of the ministries that was built in Liberia. So it wasn't like African Americans rose up from the mud and built everything on their own. That was outside help. That was outside financial help. We have to acknowledge that. We have to acknowledge it.
Elvis, when you have a nation, which nation doesn't take a loan or borrow money?
That's the point that I'm making. When you say that African Americans built it, they didn't build it by themselves. They had without the outside loans, it wasn't going to happen.
But Elvis, but even then, even if you have a nation that takes loans from someone else to build a nation, you won't say that those people didn't build the nation. That's the point I'm trying to make. The Chinese, the Japanese, they took out loans to help build their country, and they still built their country. But for
the Japanese, if you know history, Brandon, you would know the Japanese. It was the Marshall Plan after World War II, or after World War One. They helped rebuild Japan because they destroyed it.
Yeah, but there's a
whole situation.
Elvis, you would not tell the Japanese
Dynast,
that they did not rebuild the country.
I think we're on subject here a little bit.
Dynast,
It was more so Great Britain.
Dynast, can I talk? Because they interrupted me. But look, this is the reality. Elvis talking about Liberia and trying to blame somebody else for the situation in Liberia is the equivalent of me trying to blame somebody else for the situation in Atlanta, Chicago, Detroit, etc. It just all boils down to accountability. Elvis is living in America with Black Americans, 100% refuses to go back to Liberia with Liberians, but talking about, oh no, Liberia is nuances. Every situation is nuanced. Everybody has some unique thing about their situation that nobody understands. But at the end of the day, like Les Brown says, it's not about the reasons, brother. It's about the results. So you could sit up and blame this person, blame that person. Either why haven't you changed it, or why aren't you currently in Liberia changing it? Because you want to blame people, you want to blame other people for what you Liberians refuse to do for yourself. And me, I'm not gonna buy, and African Americans do the same thing, but there is a a growing segment of the African American population that is like, it's no longer acceptable to sit up and play the blame game. We have to start doing the work to change our situation.
But
You know,
Elvis
Brandon,
Bierce
I agree with you, Brandon. I agree with you, Brandon.
Not qualified to speak on it, Brandon.
Say that
You know how
again.
many Liberians got
You
businesses
know, I
in
said
Liberia,
Elvis Bierce
living in
say he's not
America, and
qualified
actually
to
paying their
speak
way
on it.
back?
So
There
why
you
we
go,
ranking up
Theo.
Liberia?
There you go. That's the point that I was trying to make. I don't come here and act like I know everything about everything. I'm not an ultra crepidarian. I'm not going to come on this platform and act like I'm an expert
Okay,
in all subjects. I know what I know about my country,
Elvis, let
and I
me
know.
ask you a question, Elvis. Let me
Go
ask you a
ahead.
question, Elvis. What did Samuel Doe do with the $500 million that Reagan gave him?
I don't know. I don't know what he did with it, right? And I'm not going to come in and tell you I got all the
Elvis,
answers for everything.
you said you know Liberian history. You know what this when the indigenous took power and Samuel Doe got in power and Ronald Reagan gave
Okay,
Samuel Doe
I'll tell you a few
$500
things
million.
that he did.
Because
He did
Elvis,
it.
this is the thing. Elvis,
You
you
asked a
said okay.
question.
So,
I'll
but
tell
hold
you a
on,
few
hold
things.
on,
I can't account for all of the money.
Let me finish. So you said when I think it was Tolbert or something, they got 19 million. They built
Tubman.
something. What?
Tubman.
Okay, tell me what did Samuel Doe do with the $500 million?
Okay, let me tell you. Now, I can't account for all of the money. I'm not a finance minister, or I didn't run his books, but I'll tell you some of the developments that he did. He did a lot of development with the roads. He built he built a few ministries, different buildings and stuff like that. So he did some development. One of the things that you hear Liberians say about Samuel Doe, he was good at developing the country. You hear a lot of people say that. Well, all the bad things that he did.
You said a vague roads and some ministries.
No, he was doing development in the country. Ask anybody who will tell you that. He was a terrible person at the end of the day, but he was doing development. And part of that money he stole. Part of the money was, he siphoned it off to places like Nigeria and other places like that. So he definitely was corrupt. So I can't account for every dollar that he had. That's what I'm saying.
Elvis, my point, Elvis. So Samuel Doe got more money during his time in office than Liberia did any time during the Americo-Liberian rule, and Liberia didn't have anything to show for it from that $500 million that he got from Reagan.
What do you mean, Dynas? After the war, what do you think was going to be left to show for it after the war destroyed the entire country? What are you
he
saying?
got $500 million.
Yes, he did. That's a fact.
And he squandered it.
He stole some of it. Some of it was development that was lost during the war as well. So those two things are true. Yeah. What am I saying? Have you ever heard me? No, hold on, Dynas. You've never heard me take blame away from the native. I'm an equal, I'm an ecumenical abuser. I would tell you what the Americans Liberian did wrong, and I'll tell you what the natives are doing wrong. I'm not here to tell you. The only reason I came on this platform was because Kyla was waxing poetic about, the American Liberians, and I just came on this platform to give you a different perspective. There was reasons behind the reason why the natives rose up. There was, a long-standing discrimination and marginalization that led up to that coup. That's the point I was making. I'm not trying to tell you that I blame all the other problems of Liberia on American Liberians. No, I'm not telling you that. But I'm telling you there was other sides to the stories that you needed to hear on this platform. That's why I came on here initially, to give you that other side of it. So I'm not blaming anybody, but I won't speak on African American issues because I don't know the nuances. I haven't been in this country since the 80s or the 90s. I don't know all the history of it.
Because this the country where you want to live, because you don't want to be in your own country, and that's what we need to
Dynas,
realize.
I was brought to this country by my mother when I was like 10 years old. So I'm not going to come here and tell you.
Stop trying to separate yourself from Black America. You are a Black American. You don't want to be nowhere else. Don't blame your mama or nobody else. If you want to be separate, go live in Liberia. You don't want to do that.
He can't speak on it though. He doesn't qualify to understand the nuances based on his history in America. He came at 10 years old. Probably doesn't have the family connections that would have gave him the awareness of the nuances that go on in the Black community. Like a lot of us, we are embedded.
No, that's total garbage, bro. Because let me tell you why. Where do you live, Elvis? What city you live in?
You got a crackhead uncle, Elvis, in
America?
Wait. I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Minnesota.
Elvis knows far more about Minneapolis, Minnesota than I do, being from Long Beach, California. When you come somewhere at 10 and you didn't been here 20, 30 years, you have a very, very,
Man, it's different when you got family that's out there that you got to empathize
listen,
with, and you see
bro,
things differently, bro. When
bro,
you got like family
listen,
that are like on
wait,
both
bro.
sides, it's different.
Listen,
Theo,
bro,
and I agree with Theo on that point,
hold on,
Brandon. You
hold
got
on.
to understand that.
Hold on. I have an aunt. She lives in Chicago. On her 18th birthday, when she graduated from Long Beach Poly High School, she got on a bus. Nobody knew. She got on a bus, went to Chicago, never came back. She had never been to Chicago before. She just must have decided she wanted to be there, got on the bus, moved to Chicago. That woman don't got no relatives in Chicago. She didn't get to Chicago until she was 18 years old by herself. Go talk to her now. She knows all the nuances, ins and outs, and everything of Chicago, just like somebody going to New York. So sitting up saying this guy doesn't know the nuances because he don't got relatives that lived in that place before him. What do you mean? When
Let me
you're
tell you
born,
this, Brandon.
wait,
Let me tell you this. Minnesota, right? They have one of the largest population of of Liberians in the United States. The largest population. So we have a whole community here in Minnesota that you have a lot of Liberians, just how you have the Somali communities here too. So we can stay in our little bubbles. We can stay in our little bubbles and not really interact too much with African American culture. I have African American friends at school.
whether you guys stay in your bubbles or not, you guys are still a part of African American culture. If you
To a
go by
degree.
we, if you go
But
by
I
weed from
don't,
the
I don't,
weed
that
man,
I don't allow that to empower me to speak on African American issues that I'm
bro,
not really
you're
well
trying to,
versed in.
bro. Okay,
You know,
okay. You listen, bro. You've been in America longer than you were in Liberia. So how you gonna speak on Liberia when you've been in America longer than Liberia?
Because I'm always
You
telling them about
making
uncle
no
and auntie that
sense.
was doing this and that. Like
yeah,
a lot
because
of
I have family members there. I go back there.
Hey, well,
I
hold
know
on,
the
one mic,
history. I study it.
hold on, one mic. Brandon just made a great point. Elvis, you are more Black American than you are Liberian. In fact, Elvis,
Yep.
you're more Americo-Liberian than you are.
Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you something about me, Donis, that you don't know. My family, my mother, my father, my sister, when they came to the United States, they all took American citizenship. I refused to take it. You ask my mother, they all call me crazy. I'm only a green card holder in the United States. I'm eligible to be citizen, but I refused it because I've always seen myself as a Liberian. You ask my mom, you ask my dad, they'll tell you I'm stupid because I refuse to take American citizenship. I'm proud to be Liberian. I'm living in America for economic reasons, but I'm planning to go back home. So if you, not every African is the same. We're different. We're not a monolith. I have different reasons on reasons for the things that I do and I don't do. So when I tell Brandon this, that there's a large Liberian community in Minnesota, and we pretty much stick together in our own little bubble for the most part, it's a fact. And again, I love African Americans, but I'm not going into your issues, and I'm not going to try to pontificate into the things that affects African Americans, and act like I'm an expert on that. In Liberia, I have a love for my country. I have a desire to know my history, so I study it very hard, and I've gone back a few times to visit my country, and I know people who are there. I have my families. I know people from my tribe who was alive during the time of Doe, who was his contemporaries, who told me stories and things like that. So I read up on that history.
You reading, bro?
Let me ask you this. Let
Can
me
you
ask
go
you
back to
this.
the, can you go back to the original subject? I think we got too far ahead with the Liberia thing.
No. But
Earlier you
this is
said
good.
you
But
was
this is important. This is important. Go ahead, Theo.
We're
Theo.
dragging it back.
Elvis, you said earlier you was fighting.
Brandon, let Theo ask his question. I'll pass it right back to you. Go ahead, Theo.
Earlier, Elvis, you said that as an African, well, let me ask you this because you said earlier you don't fight for the same things. But let me ask you, as an African, what are you fighting for that the average Black person isn't fighting for? Because you said you're not fighting for the same thing. Let me ask you that.
No. I never say I'm not fighting for the same thing.
No,
I
you
don't know
did.
if you
You
if I said
specifically
that.
me to ask you that for a minute, so I've been holding on to that question. You said you're not fighting for the same things as the average African American.
I don't know if I said it, but maybe I misspoke. But
Yeah, you said that in the
the point that I
conversation.
was trying to make is that for me in America, right, some of the things that I fight for are mostly like, for example, we have this whole TPS thing, this temporary protected status for Liberians who came to this country as refugees, and they were here for a short time, and they had to get their status situated, and they never did. They was going to be deported. You'll see our people going out there and trying to extend that TPS status. We have people who want to be dual citizenship, dual citizens of Liberia, things like that. To be honest with you, I'm not too much into the African American community like that. It's nothing bad per se, but most of my advocacy or most of my things that I care about is things that deal with Liberia and Liberian immigrants in the United States.
These guys are doing exactly what FBA and ADOS are doing. They're trying to come together for the benefits, but then delineate when it comes to accepting responsibility for fixing the problems. And that's why this stuff is just as problematic as FBA. The reality is, and I'm gonna tell you the truth, Elvis, you don't know anything about Liberia. Kala gets on her consistently and schools you on your own country. The reality is,
Kala tells you what he knows from the history books. He doesn't understand the nuances of our country. He doesn't.
I didn't interrupt you. Listen, here's the reality. Here's the reality. You just want to have something to hold against African Americans because you have resentment for what happened in Liberia, just like a black person has resentments of whites over slavery. That's where you separate at. That's why you try to hold out. I don't want to be black American or African American because of that, because of that stuff. Something you never went through, something you never experienced, but you use that as your slight against black Americans. Which
what are you
is
saying?
fine.
I have no slight against black Americans. Where are you coming with this conclusion
I'm not
from?
done. I'm not done. But what I'm telling you is you got resentment against black Americans because of what happened in Liberia. Bro, it's obvious. Everyone can see.
I don't.
Okay, anyway, the situations that listen, okay, if this is the case, bro, okay, Dynast, I'm gonna ask you a question. I want you to answer it honestly. If this dude is, I don't see myself as a black American, why is his ass up here talking about Atlanta and the way black Americans behaving there?
I never talked about it. I excuse myself from the conversation. If you follow it.
Why are you up here?
I have a right to state my opinion, Brandon.
But you just said that you don't got no relation, no connection, and you don't identify with black Americans. So why would you get up here? Ain't no white man up here.
Hey, I would say this, man. You do qualify to speak, even if it's from the outside looking in.
Listen,
that's criticism.
Brandon, you gotta let other people speak, bro. Theo got something to say. Let him say it.
If you don't identify as a black American, and when I say that, meaning all of us African people who are black living in America.
No, now you're qualifying it. You're qualifying it.
That's what you said.
You're qualifying it. If you say the black people of America, I would include myself. If you say African American, they're a subgroup of the black people in America. You gotta understand that, Brandon. You have to understand that.
I got one sentence. If you're saying you don't identify as the black American, meaning all black people in America, and you really don't have nothing to say about their issues, and you're not really part of the community, don't get up here
you're speaking outside. You're speaking out both sides of your mouth, because if you have a Nigerian guy, if you have a Nigerian who came into the black American, into black communities and try to act black, you'll say, "Oh, you ain't black. You're Nigerian. Why are you trying to act black?" You see that? I see that. I see that. I saw that every day. Even if you're not saying it on this platform, we see that.
It's about Elvis. We ain't gonna get nowhere with the conversation, though.
Dynast, listen, Dynast. Elvis, you are lying. I treat every African person, Nigerian, whatever, I treat them like my brothers, no matter where they are. I even made a video where I was playing around with a Nigerian security guard, and I was like, "Why are you messing with that FBA woman?" He was like, "Man, I was like, "Bro, I'm just joking with you, man. She over here acting crazy." I look at every black person the same, period. I got a lot of friends who are Nigerian. Dynast, do I not hit you up with my Nigerian friends and all that on WhatsApp?
That's you, Brandon. But the first thing somebody asks me is, "Oh, you got an accent. Where you from? You got an accent." So there's a difference. So I'm not, there's some Africans who will pretend because maybe they was born here and they don't have as thick as a accent as some of us. They will pretend that they're Black American. At the end of the day, they're not. So I'm not here trying to change my identity. I'm a Liberian who lives in America. I have no qualms about that. I'm not afraid to say that.
You're an American who lives in America.
No, I'm not American. I still have my Liberian citizenship. I haven't taken American citizenship. I'm still a Liberian. My mentality is Liberian. I eat Liberian food. I'm still a Liberian.
Liberians are excuse makers.
We need a topic on Elvis. We need to have a whole topic on Elvis right now.
Can we just go back to the original topic before all this?
Exactly. That's what I was saying.
Liberian. Liberian. Like, can we just focus on the main topic about originally?
Okay, guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button again, please. Please hit the like. But hey, everyone, listen. Hold on. We got Jermaine King in the chat room. Listen, back at UGA, me and Jermaine used to work in the library at UGA during the summer. And I used to be in there like 2 hours a week, getting paid $6 an hour. And that's how I met Jermaine King. Shout out to Jermaine King, fellow UGA grad who's in the chat room, super chat. Appreciate you, Jermaine. All right, go ahead, Alexis. Go ahead, Alexis.
No, I was just saying that the whole conversation just went left. It's about African American degeneracy. Why did it just start going into Liberia?
No, you're right. You're right.
I agree. That was a big gap. Like I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's pass it. Darnell Nelson, go ahead and unmute yourself. Darnell. No, I said $6 an hour, not $60 an hour. Just $6 an hour. Darnell Nelson, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for letting me on the platform, Dynas, and greetings, hotep to everybody on the platform. Exactly. How did we get off topic? From the title of this show. And that's the problem. I want to say that us Black Americans we have here in this country is that we get so distracted easily from our goal and objective by each other. We're talking about Liberia. Liberia has nothing to do, no African, country has nothing to do with what's going on in America. Right now, the problem with what's going on in America is our own people. There's no Africans out here killing African Americans. It's African Americans killing African Americans. Now, I wish the two ladies, earlier was still on this platform, because I would tell her, or tell them automatically that their problem is they don't take accountability. Now they want to, digress and want to, try to, let, the problem slide and saying that, oh, we need programs. There's people before us, pioneers before us, been given out or trying to exemplify programs for us, African Americans to abide by. But look how many people, just ignored it. I mean, you had Sister Shazari Ali, trying to, help the Black community, but they shut her down. You have Brother Khalid Muhammad trying to help the Black community. They, people was, ignoring him. So it's like, this is why I don't understand, just like that gentleman, the Pookie earlier that came on, the show. Look at him. I mean, how did this guy come on just to, give his point across? He should have just been shut down automatically, Dynas, because what he was saying, he has, nothing to contribute to the Black community. And I'm just saying that our problem is that we always, try to come up with solutions, but the problem is it's in our community. Our problems is within our communities, and we're always trying to save people that don't want to be saved, like the Pookies and the Shanays and stuff. And to keep this on topic, on the subject, look at the people that's out here, making single mothers or having baby daddies. You got 80% of women, Black women in our communities all over the United States that's giving birth to 20% of the men. So that means the other, 80% of men that's good, that would be, good fathers or whatever like that, that will build a community. We're being shut down by our own women, and the women have every part, in it on why, the communities is not doing well. Because if you're out here giving birth to kids who don't have no fathers, and then the kids going to go out and try to find, something that they like or they could look up to, which is rappers or drug dealers. They go out here doing the crimes. They don't want to, go and learn and try to, better themselves. It's like, then what do? We want to go and blame Africans. Africans that's come over here want to make themselves better. And then, the drugs, it's the drugs that came in here and it's the system. But time out, just like Dinah said earlier, nobody put a gun to your head and said, hey, sell this to your people. You have every right to say no, to anything that goes against your will. But if you look at it, look at the people that's bringing the drugs. It's obviously the government. They allow it to come in because they're in charge of, national security. And then who's growing and bringing the drugs in? It's the Mexican cartels. And guess who are we friendly with or buddies with? The Mexicans. We go out, be friends with them. You be friends with everybody else outside of our own community. That's Indian, the Patels, the Hamburgs, the Jews, whatever like that. They come in our community with their stores and stuff, and we give them all of our money. But then we want to go and blame Africans who really have less than 1% of our issues that's going on in America. Explain that to me.
And so you have to stop things about
Well, hold
groups.
on. One second. We got to take a commercial break. Hey, everyone, I need you. There's almost 500 people watching. Listen, if you have not bought the documentary, again, there's almost 500 people watching. Go and buy the documentary. Go to searchforahuru.com, purchase the documentary. I don't. No one has a story like mine in regards to, a Black American reconnecting back to Africa and its roots. No one has a story like mine. So the documentary is out. It is streaming right now at searchforahuru.com. So guys, make sure you go and buy the documentary. Philip, have you bought the documentary? Philip, Lindsay? Mr. Lindsay, have you pressed 1, Mr. Lindsay, if you bought the documentary already? Press 1. So if you have not bought the documentary yet, go and purchase the documentary. Go and support. I want everybody to have this documentary and support it. It's my life's work. I wrote books. I do tours, but I need everyone to buy the documentary. Again, shout out to Reality. Go to searchforwho.com, buy the documentary. Reality, the documentary is money well spent. So again, spend the $10.99 and buy the documentary. Dynast, we got you. Listen, I released this documentary last week, and some of y'all been saying the same thing. I'm trying not to be petty, but some of y'all been saying, I got you. I'm gonna get to you. I got you. Shout out to Philip Lindsay for buying the documentary. Shout out to Haru Tut for buying it. So again, I need you guys to buy the documentary. Okay, go ahead.
Like, what's funny? Mr. Darnell, you want to finish?
No, I'm done. That's what I said. With all of that I just said, explain to me, how can we fix the issues that's in our community when we got our own people in our community that's stopping us from progressing?
Okay, well, it's funny you mentioned that, because when the two sisters were on the panel, yes, a lot of what they said was true to an extent, but the problem, what they didn't answer, they answered the question when I said, okay, all that did happen. That's very true. But here's my problem: why didn't we stop? If we know being a single mom hurts our community, why didn't we stop? We know drugs affect us. Why didn't we stop? They give no logical reason why we just stop this. Yes, white people play a big hand into destroying our community, I mean, especially creating the other progenitors, like creating the Pookies and the Ray Rays and the PooKieshas and everything. We all know this, but it's our fault for preserving this type of mentality in this culture for so long. Like, why didn't we just stop? We know it's not working. We know it does more harm than good. Why are we going to therapy? Why we just find another way out? Why we end this why we end this form of dysfunctionality like years ago? We know the consequence of these actions. And the sad part is, a lot of us don't have the mental, emotional maturity to look at ourselves like, oh, something has to change. Like the way, that's how people being raised in a single household is psychologically damaging to children. So why don't we stop that? Why don't we stop that and just push the culture? Like, no, get married, get your life together, build a community, stop being niggas, stop being hood rats. Let's just stop, because we know it's not going to help us on the long term. And the sad part is, a lot of us like this dysfunctionality that we call "quote unquote" black culture, where in reality it's just black dysfunctionality. We just put a name tag on it. And the sad part is, like I said in the beginning, if people really want this to stop, and I mean they really want to stop, we're gonna need black people in the community gonna need to segregate. We can't save every black person. There's so many black people in our community who are so far gone. We need to stop. You can't, like that saying, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. So how can we turn a degenerate into a decent person again? It's then almost impossible, because it's been a long time lifestyle for them, and they don't see nothing wrong with it. There's some black people. Let me finish with this point. There's black people who are so far gone in our community that we have to accept the reality that we can't save them. Leave them alone. Let's forget about them and just give with like-minded people at this point. But there will be a time, like Chris Rock did kind of predict, that there will be a form of a civil war. If black people really want to fix the issues of our community, there's going to have to be a form of segregation, and it doesn't need to stay that way if we want the black race to survive. I'm done.
So poverty has been, will always be, like, people's and hunger. Let me say hunger will be people's number one enemy, right? So when you have communities that are impoverished, the hero is the person who can bring in the resources, and it doesn't matter really how that person got those resources, right? So when you have impressionable young men seeing older, rather it's a 10-year-old who watches a teenager, get the things he needs when that 10-year-old know he goes without, he's going to learn that behavior, and so on and so forth. That teenager looks to the 24-year-old, and those become the heroes of the neighborhood, right? So, but the real culprit is poverty and lack of resources. It ain't the single mother. It ain't the, all of this. Those are residuals. Those are symptoms of it all. The problem is poverty, lack of resources, people going to bed hungry. All of this talk y'all talking don't mean nothing to someone who has an empty belly. They're gonna do whatever they need. When you have a society that's almost like
brother, if I can interject, I'm not buying the empty bell excuse, because right now, I use myself as an example. Well, let me finish. People always bring up this old hunger issue. When I was in LA, all right, a friend of mine told me, I was a struggling actor and model. A friend told me, Dynas, if you go down to the county office, they will give you food stamps. I literally went down to the county office and got a WIC card, or whatever you called it, with $250 on it per month. For a single meal, that's a lot of food back in 2000 and 2000.
That helps me with my point.
But that's the point. That's my point. Like, you can't blame selling dope on being hungry when these parents or these mothers, all they got to do is go to the county office and get a WIC card. Or EBT card. I'm sorry, EBT card. There you go, EBT card.
Right. So the solution is, right? So what you did, you found a solution to your problem, right? Which made it so you didn't have to do anything else, right? You got that $250 and that allowed you to get some food, right? So that doesn't change the fact that the problem is, and it's a problem, people being hungry, people going without resources. So we do have to find a way, and a lot of people don't agree with this, but you need social programs. You need programs that allow people to at least take care of their basic needs when they don't have any other options, because I get excuses. I understand that, but the truth of the matter is, man, like there's something in nature that no matter what you talking about, when somebody is hungry, they'll look at you, listen to you, they might respect you as a person. But in the back of their mind, if you're not giving them anything that's satisfying that need, they might give it a day or two. Some people, find other ways. Don't get me wrong. It's not the only crime. It's not the only way, right? But it's easy to get into crime, to be tempted by crime when you have no resources, right? And it's easy to be tempted by people who have resources, even if they're criminals. Right. So what we see in the community is we see a lot of, and it ain't just the mother is single. It's a mother being single and not having resources, and the uncle, who's a drug dealer, looks like the hero of the family. Right. To the little nephews, or the baby father, he doesn't have a job. He's a drug dealer. Or he robs or whatever. He looks like a hero to his son because he brings those resources home. Right. So until you can address those needs, like get rid of poverty, that really has to be the fight. It doesn't have to be the people. It has to be poverty. It has to be inequality. Like, that's what people have to get back to, like, fighting against and rectifying. Because as long as you have poverty and inequality, there's always going to be the potential for crime and criminal behavior, because people will kill to eat. I mean, we look at the crime, but we look at the crime on a local level, right? But if you just look at
and listen, but I'm a Pastor Shirley. You keep bringing up this eating thing. Ain't nobody hungry. No, you get all types of fear. There's a America. America, specifically Black America, is heavily subsidized. I mean, the government make sure you're full and you get fed. You get EBT cards.
Like that, man. When you're a young kid, and your mother, let's say your mother's on drugs or she's irresponsible, and you've had to feel that hunger, right? You start gaining a certain perspective of the world, and once you feel it, even though you're young, it's like you develop a memory for that feeling, and a subconscious fear of ever feeling that again. So if you could find a way up out of it, even when you're not hungry, even when you've gotten to a place where that need is being met, there's a subconscious fear there for the time when you didn't have those resources for whatever reason, which can perpetuate.
Okay, so basically,
I'll say that. But
so it's the mom's fault then. So it's the mom's fault that the kids are getting the resources.
I say it has been. Like, let's say you had a father on drugs, a mother on drugs. That's gonna lead to a bad situation for a young child. You know what I mean? That child is gonna be in danger of becoming a criminal. Definitely more so than a kid who has all the resources he needs. Even if it's a single mother, if that kid has the resources that he needs, he never experiences hunger, he never sees violence, he doesn't have, males, whether it's his uncle or his father in his life who demonstrates criminal behavior, and his needs are met, that kid is probably not going to be a criminal, right? But that kid who has a father around, uncles around, mother's poor, father's poor, uncles are poor, the uncles rob and steal, guess what? That kid without resources who experiences a lack of resources, right? And see that his parents, whether his father, mother, uncles, go out to get resources through criminal means, is more likely to become a criminal, right? So it's a combination of things. I'm not going to say it's just one thing.
Let's pass the mic. Go ahead, Charlie. Go ahead, Charlie. Let me stop, Charlie.
Thank you, Dynas, for having me on your show. I look at it, I'm going to give you my perspective. We as a people, we are at war. We already see what's happening in this country, and they really want to put you black people on the line when it comes to this Russian-Ukrainian situation. So they'd be happy to push Pookie and Ray Ray out there. I'm going to go back to the two women earlier. I support those women, and let me tell you why. Because if you don't know who you are and your history and where you come from, you can't utilize it as a weapon. If you can't utilize what happened to your ancestors to move you forward, then you don't get the game of America. Because everybody else comes here and they talk to you about a point of disposition. I come from da-da-da-da. Here's my problem, da-da-da-da. And every time we go somewhere, especially those of us who live in California, we got to hear everybody else's problem. But when we talk about our own history, oh, that's the past. You need to deal with the present. Well, I don't say that to them, but they say that to me. That is a form of leverage. A form of a vocal leverage or a history leverage puts you in a different financial situation. For example, when the Jews wanted to say, hey, we want Jerusalem to be our state capital, and under the Trump administration, they said, fine, we're going to make it your state capital. And then they leveraged them money. Under the Obama administration, when the Latinos in the Latin community correlated with Obama and worked with Wells Fargo and them getting all that millions of dollars towards housing, they worked with the Hispanic real estate and business owners to leverage themselves, and they started the Hispanic Coalition because they said, our people are hurting, we have children, we got all these babies. Okay, I'm giving you examples of other cultures, and I can go on and on. And if you watch my show, I've said that about people from India, I've said that about people from Iran, and now the Ukrainians are able to say, well, we need education. Well, dump them in the black historical colleges when you guys are Nazi carriers. Let's see how that goes over really well. The problem is with our own people, we criticize the past for those who talk about it, and we do not weaponize that knowledge and put it in a form of American constitutional rights to us. We need to know our history. We need to know the Constitution. We need to understand about executive orders that are put in place like they gave the Chinese and the Pacific Islanders and giving these people for their money and families. Now, grant you, they'll pivot and say, well, we have these systematic situations where we give you programs, we give you free cell phones, and we want you to call the politicians aunties and aunts. Them people ain't no aunt or aunt to you. They only care about immigrants and migrants that don't help you. Why is Pookie and Ray Ray and Lashika and Nakana acting the way they do? It's because they don't have the time or took the time to know who they are or their educational rights.
All they do is want a program. This is the production and the output and the outcome of these people who are under program systems. The last thing I wanted to say was this. If we talk about money and leverage and numbers, you have to equate to executive orders. We need to have a group of people that understand you have to go to the federal government at this level. And for those who don't want to be part of the reparation movement, you don't have to. I'm an ADOS person. I don't have time to be talking about criticizing, are you African or not African? That is irrelevant. What is relevant is that we do have a different story. And Elvis is right. We should be the voice of that story. And if he doesn't want to be part of it, he shouldn't be beat up or put down for not having that same voice. That brother's got the right to his voice as well as I have to mine. But if we want to have sensible people at the table, you better know government laws, because the government has perpetually over history done things to divide us, to conquer us, and have us spit and throw up on each other. And if you can get past that and realize we are at a point in this country under this administration where California is at 4 to 6%, and now the Ukrainians and the Afghanistanians are getting apartments with $4,700. But then you go downtown LA and we can't get them people any houses. And y'all know 90% of the people who are homeless in this country, especially in the blue states like California and New York and heavy other states like that, y'all know they're Black people. So don't sit up here talking about African and Black American. When you're talking about Pookie and Ray Ray, Pookie and Ray Ray is an outcome of the governmental systems that are in place today, and they want you to be that way. They want you to be ignorant. They want you fighting among each other, but they don't want you to have the power to leverage, and you need the past and its history to weaponize that knowledge to get what we want.
Okay, let's do this. Alexis, you got anything you want to add, Alexis?
Had asked,
Alexis, you there?
yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Black to Africa had asked for the panel to share their resume and where they're helping the community. And for me, I can answer because I do help the Black community. So for my resume, in short, I am a brand designer. I do packaging and graphic design for manufacturing companies. And over 10 years, I've been helping a lot of Black-owned businesses, from startups to small businesses, help create their struggling business into more of a profitable brand. So mothers, a lot of entrepreneurs in the Black community, they reach out to me on how they could progress their business with visual communications, like pamphlets and different visual communications on how to attract their customers. So I know we always focus on Pookies and Ray Rays, but there are young women like me and even older women like me that are helping the Black community, where we are building up Black businesses. So, if anybody else on the panel want to share what they're doing progressively to stop degenerate behavior and uplift our community, you can share.
And I'm just jumping here real quick, Dynast, if you don't mind. I want to thank Ms. Shirley for your statement. I think understanding my point of view, I appreciate that. When it comes to what I do for the Black community, I guess I don't really do too much. But the thing I do the most is by not being a problem. I'm not going out there, participating in degenerate, behaviors and things like that. So I stay out of that. But I will just be personal for a second. My sister, she went down that road of a typical Keisha. She's Liberian, but she went down that road. She got 3 kids by 3 different fathers. I have a cousin who went to jail for attempted murder because he got caught up in that gang lifestyle. So my family has been affected by quote unquote American culture, but I resisted it. I'm a proud African. I know who I am. Even at an early age, I always knew who I was and where I connected with the most. And I was back home in my homeland, Liberia. So I won't tell you that I'm not affected by it. I live in a predominantly Black community here in Minnesota, so I see it all around me. But I choose to stay out of it and be productive in my own ways by working and providing for myself and my family. So that's how I contribute. I'm not doing anything like going to community centers and things like that. That's fine if others are doing it, but I contribute by just not being a part of the problem. And before I get up, I just want to tell you, Dynas, I met Kyla on another platform called Focus on Liberia. That's where I mostly do my, my advocacy, and I engage on that platform because it's all about Liberia, and we focus on the issues that's affecting our country here in the diaspora. That's when Kyla introduced me and invited me to come on this platform and engage. I've seen Dynas before on YouTube, but I never knew he was doing lives. That's why I came on this platform. So when Brandon asked me why I'm on this platform, is because I was invited, and I thought, when it comes to things about Liberia, I can give my 2 cents because I'm kind of well versed on the topic of Liberia. But outside of that, African Americans, like Brandon was trying to stigmatize me, like I have some, ills against African Americans. I really don't. I have friends who are African Americans. I also had debates with them about Africa and Black American and African. That people try to, even when I was in middle school. This is not a new thing. There was Black Americans who would tell me, "I'm not African. I'm not no damn stinking African." And I would be stupid enough at the time to try to argue with them and tell, yes, you are. Why, if you're not, I was using a stupid ass, elementary argument. If you're not African, why you have the name African American before you're, so stupid little arguments like that. But at the end of the day, there is certainly a divide between African Americans and Africans. I see a lot of Africans who try to, paper over the cracks and say, oh, there's no difference. We're all Africans. We're not all Africans. If you look at my, I'm not going to try to be all, genetic, but if you look at my DNA, I probably have less than 5% white. A lot of African Americans may have, 20%, 30% white in their blood. So phenotypically, they might look different. It might be light
Not
skin.
true. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true at all. Go ahead.
Okay. They might look different. They might have curlier hair, like the other guy who came on the show talk about having long hair, and that's a distinctive factor for African Americans. They might be lighter skinned than an African. They might have less coily hair, whatever. But again, there are differences, right? So when I come on this platform, I'm only going to tell you from my experiences how I see things, and I'm not going to try to speak from your experience because I haven't lived in your shoes, and I don't know what you went through in this country. I'm not going to be ignorant to think I can, I can just jump in and put my 2 cents into something when I really know nothing about it.
Elvis, you did a good job. You spoke.
Hey, Shirley, can I? Shirley, in fact, I'm gonna ask Elvis a question. I'll let you respond. Now, Elvis, you said that your sister has 3 kids by 3 different baby daddies, and that your brother or cousin or something got arrested and is in jail, I guess, for attempted murder. And you said that is American culture. Like, can you expand on that?
Okay, so when we first came to the United States, we came to New Jersey. That's where we have our extended family, my auntie and her husband. When we went there, I had a cousin already who came with my uncle. He's a stepson of my auntie. He's married. My auntie is married to a quote unquote American Liberian guy, my mom's elder sister. And when we came into this country, they sponsored us, and we went to New Jersey. We live in Ewing, New Jersey. And at the time when I came in, my cousin was already, he was like 4 or 5 years older than me. He was in high school at the time, and he was this big, gangster, bully kind of person. But he's Liberian, right? But you would never know it when you see him and you talk to him. He looks quote unquote Black American, right? And I admired my cousin, and I started to follow him. And he was getting into trouble, and my mom was afraid that I would get into trouble, and that's why she kind of left. She kind of made us come to Minnesota, quote unquote quiet place where I wouldn't get into too much trouble. And eventually, my cousin got put in jail for attempted murder. He got deported back to Liberia. He's in Liberia right now. He got deported back there. So he really went down that road. And in our community, I would say it, people say it, but it's the truth. We talk about my families and my extended family would say, you don't want to be like the African Americans. You see them going to jail, you see them getting killed, you see them
Okay,
killing
but
other people. You don't want to go
Elvis,
down that route.
Elvis, and this is the problem with your comment. So why did you leave? Why did your family leave Liberia? What was going on?
Right. So after the war, during the war.
Okay,
after
the war, right?
Yeah.
What was going on in the
You
war?
have
What was going on in
Yeah,
the war?
no, hold on, Dynas. This is for every country in the world, right? America has what they call the diversity visa. They want to bring diverse people from all backgrounds into the United States. So that's how we came into this country on a diversity visa. It's called a DV program. So people from Nigeria, people from any country in the world have that diversity visa. You play it, it's like a lottery. Your chances of winning is very, very slim. And luckily enough, my mom won it, and that's how we migrated into this country. I was a child. I had no say in it whether I wanted to stay in Liberia or not. but we came into this country, and I thank God for it because economically I'm in power. I can do things that I probably wouldn't have been able to do in Liberia. But again, it's not that I love America so much. That's the reason I'm here. Is that I have economic opportunities here that I can build off and hopefully go back home and improve my life and my family's life around me. That's why I'm here.
No,
And
but Elvis, but Elvis, my question is: so your family came because of the Civil War, right?
Right.
Okay, and then the guy that was getting into trouble that was already here in America. When did he come?
He came way before then. Like I said, his father is a miracle Liberian, right? And
So
when the war was hot, wait, hold on. When the war was hot, he had family. He had his mom here. His mom is a
okay,
miracle Liberian lady.
the war was
So
hot. The war was hot, right? The war was hot. Go ahead.
yeah, so she sent for him, and he came to the United States. And then I think a year or two later, he sent for my auntie and their kids. So they were the first people that came directly from my family to the United States.
Okay,
My mom's younger
Elvis,
sister.
my question is Elvis. Then should we be blaming the quote unquote in quotation marks the Black American culture, or did you guys bring that dysfunctional Civil War culture to
What
America
I
from
didn't
Liberia?
say it was Black American culture. I say American culture. I didn't say it was Black American culture because I'm not stupid enough to just paint that as being Black American culture. I say American culture.
Okay, so
And
but no, but again, did you guys? Okay, is it truly American culture, or did you bring the dysfunctional Civil War culture from Liberia to America?
when you say did my cousin again, he didn't take part in the Civil War. He was a
But
he
again,
was a
but
kid.
you brought up American culture, how your sister, your cousin, your brother. Is it American culture, or did you guys bring the dysfunctional Civil War culture from Liberia to America?
When you say Civil War, what are we eating? What are we eating human beings? Are we
The
eating
war,
them
the war,
outside?
the war,
Are
the
we
war,
killing
the
people
war period,
rampantly?
the war
No, when you
period,
say
the
the
war
war, what do
period.
you mean? I mean, people
Yeah,
fought
yeah,
wars
the
in
war. I
Liberia.
mean, come on, Elvis, you know
No,
why you guys
what is
came.
it?
You
What is
guys
the
came.
stereotype of the
You
Liberian war
guys.
that people was
Do you
eating
want
human
me to? Do you
beings
want me to put?
and raping women and doing those things? Is that what we
Do
brought
you
here?
want me to pull up the videos
No,
of
that's what
indigenous?
I'm saying. You said that
Okay,
we brought
okay.
that culture here.
Right. So indigenous Liberians walking in the
Hmm.
streets, AK-47 shooting everything up, cannibalism. Did you guys bring that to America? Like, how can you say it's American culture when you guys were getting and cracking over there in Liberia? Did you guys bring that with you?
That's the point that I'm making, right? You're talking about those heinous acts that some people committed in Liberia, like killing pregnant women, opening their bellies and looking at seeing what sex the baby is, or eating people and things like that. Are you saying we brought that culture here? Have you ever heard about a Liberian, killing a woman and opening her stomach, or eating human beings in the street, or just going out rampantly killing people, innocent kids and babies, things that you saw in our Civil War? Are you saying you seen that here in the United States done by American or
No. What I'm
Liberian
saying is, how
immigrants?
can you blame? Like I'm saying is, how can you blame American culture when you guys were doing that times 20 in Liberia when you guys left?
When you say what I'm talking about gang culture, that's American culture, right? My cousin got caught up in gangs, right? When we're talking about, I guess I
But
won't.
you guys had all that already in I mean, that was going on in Liberia during the war when you guys left. So did you guys just bring that over here?
Yeah, the war was a complete dysfunction. America is not at war. We're not in. There's not a civil war going on here. So we're in peacetime, and yet still we have gang violence, people killing each other, a generation of gang, affiliated family members who are doing that. Liberia, it was a short period of time, a 14-year, when everything was dysfunctional and just out of control. You know, so I'm not trying to tell you that American culture is the worst thing, possible. But I'm saying my sister and my cousin, they got caught up in quote unquote American culture. I I guess was smart enough or was lucky enough not to get too caught up in it. And as I got older, came more to my senses and I became more productive in life. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So I'm not excluding myself from being, quote unquote, a part of American culture. But I've always hung on to my Liberianness and always hung on to you know, uh, back home, as we would say. And that's how I see it. So when I come on this platform, I want to be as honest and as open as possible. And people can see it as being mean or being divisive, but I don't like to sugarcoat anything. I tell you how I truly feel from inside. And some of these people, when they say these things about African, it's true. Some of our parents say the same thing, how you don't want to associate with Black Americans because they're gangsters, they're this, they're that. And it's not true for all African Americans, but certainly there's some truth to that as well. So I'm being honest with you on this platform, Diners. I don't know how any other way I could say these things that I'm saying it without saying to be mean
No, but
and
the point I was
disrespectful.
the point I was trying to make, like I think instead of using, I guess Black American, like your family members or whatever, when they were talking about Black Americans, instead of using them as a scapegoat, that might have been something already in them because that was what they were doing, or what they were leaving in, or
Are you
what they
going to
witnessed,
the
or
African
participating
savage?
in
Are you
the war.
going to that stereotype? The Africans are savages and all of that nonsense.
I'm not saying that. I'm just going off what you were saying in regards to what your family did or participating in gangs. Maybe they brought that mentality over from the Civil War to America.
Oh, so there was no gangs in America before we got here, right?
No, there are gangs, but they just
Okay,
brought
then,
over what they
and
had and
that's part of
come out of
American,
it.
and gang culture is part of American culture, right?
Huh?
Or you want to? Is
No,
gang
I'm
culture a
saying,
part of
okay,
American culture?
there is an element of gangs here in America, but what I'm saying is maybe, hey, in Liberia, they were like, when they came over, like, listen, we was getting it cracking in Liberia. Shoot, we can get it
Nah,
cracking
it
here in
wasn't. There
America.
wasn't. You got to understand, Don, is you want to you always talk about not having excuses, but you're having excuses right now. You're giving excuses that okay.
We just did a whole show on dysfunctional Black America. We just did a whole show on the dysfunctional Black America. What I'm saying
Right.
is, maybe we can't blame the Black or the American gang culture when it was cracking in Liberia when you guys left. You guys might have just brought that over here as well.
No,
It made it
no,
worse.
no, no.
It made it worse. But
It made
sure,
it
go ahead,
worse.
Shirley. Go ahead, Shirley. Go ahead, Shirley. Shirley, you got to mute yourself, Shirley. Shirley, unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
I mean, the subject's so past gone, so I appreciate being on your show. I don't know what the caller's outcome is, but the bottom line, I know we're talking about Pookies and Ray Rays, and the only way we can move forward is to understand our history, not criticize. Please stop criticizing people saying, well, you old and you keep talking about the past. The past is what you need to put ammunition in your resources to get your resources. We all need money, jobs, we need food, we need shelter. And in order to move forward with that, you've got to weaponize yourself. You forget all these people are coming in this country and we give everything away. And they're using their sad stories from their past to get something of the present. We give our sad stories from the past and you people criticize it. It's nonsense to me. Pookie and Ray Rays are always going to exist. They're going to always exist. The Bible said there'll always be poor among you. And the poor doesn't always mean financially. It means mentally and socially as well. If those people want to stay that way, they do. I think that we have to let the cream rise to the top to get our voices across.
All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and close out. Hey, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family, Dynasty Mirror, search for Huru. Peace.
Peace, y'all.